check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Check the mic.
It sound right, boy.
It sound right, boy.
It sound right, boy.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the Hot Shot Radio Show. This is your boy Hot. Yo, you already know how we do over here, man. We back with another flick. Welcome everybody in the building. Hotties and shooters, everybody, newcomers. If you are new to the Hot Shot Radio Show, please don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Show that free love, man. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Welcome back. I know it's been a little minute, y'all, man. I ain't been up here for a little minute. Let's just say I had a little technical difficulties. Let's just say that. What up, Rico the Brad? What's good, bro? Yeah, do what you gotta do, man. Roll that, do what you gotta do, drink that, all that. Nettie in the building, Mercury Rising was good, Queen. P. Joshi, Humble Gemini, Lauren Melberline, Miss T. Taylor was popping, sis. Welcome everybody. Luis Cochito, Jessica Parker, everybody in the building. Listen, it's been a long week. Those of you who already know, who follow me on Instagram, where it all goes down, and I'll be telling y'all, follow my Instagram. That's where it all goes down, right? That's where it all begins. So those of you who seen my Instagram interview with Miss Sista Pun, Miss NICKY RODRIGUES, A.K.A. Big Pun's sister, Big Pun's little sister, you know what I'm saying? Which is now an adult. She actually interviewed with me, and she just dropped some new revelations, some new, shocking allegations and things that she feel and has been feeling for the past 2 decades about her sister-in-law, the mother of her nieces and nephew. which is Liza Rios, Big Pun's wife. So I interviewed actually Miss Hottie and myself. We both interviewed with Nikki Rodriguez, which is Big Pun's sister, and we interviewed with Booby, which is Big Pun's cousin, AKA right hand man. Like he was everywhere. I'm sure if you guys seen the interviews from back in the day and stuff like that, the shows, been to the clubs, the performances you've seen Booby around. So with that being said, it was a great interview. It was a very extensive interview. We interviewed for like pretty much almost 5 hours, I think. So it was a lot of details, a lot of news, things that never came to the light before. So pretty much what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna break it all down for you guys. What is it that Big Pun Sister's feeling? Why she's feeling the way she's feeling? We're gonna look at Big Pun's past a little bit from the documentary that his wife dropped years ago. About it was over a decade, I believe. So yeah, um, we're gonna speak on that, and then hopefully we can get Nikki on the panel after we're done speaking, aka Big Punch Sister and her cousin Booby. And you guys could probably ask some questions that you may have as well. So I'm gonna be as fair as possible, and I'm gonna try to look at the situation from all angles. And you know me as usual, I'm very unbiased. So I'm gonna see where things went wrong. We're gonna try to depict the situation and see where things went, left between the family and where the division came to be. So it's going to be a really interesting show. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and I want to give a special tribute and listen. Our own little memorial here on the Hot Shot Radio Show for DMX. It's been really sad. I got the news probably 2-3 days, maybe 4, before that, before everybody else got it. One of my sources, who you guys have seen on the show and is a really credible source, told me that, she got word from the family that DMX pretty much was passing already, or was about to pass or passed. I didn't want to put anything out there that misconstrued anything. So, plus out of respect to the family, I didn't want to post anything, but I pretty much had got the news beforehand, and it's been sad. It's been a really, really long, sad week. And so, yeah, I just want to go ahead and read a quick article on DMX and see what they said about his death. But there's been a lot of speculation going on, and people's been saying that, it was a COVID vaccine that he took about a week before. People are saying that it was an overdose. So, there's a lot of speculation and stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and see what CBS News says about DMX. It says DMX, the prolific rapper and actor who rose to fame in the late 1990s and 2000s, has died nearly a week after suffering a heart attack, his family said in a statement Friday. He was 50 years old. The rapper, whose real name is Earl Simmons, was hospitalized in White Plains, New York, after suffering the heart attack on April 2nd. He spent roughly a week on life support and was facing what his family calls serious health issues. Earl was a warrior who fought to the very end. He loved his family with all his heart, and we cherished the times we spent with him, his family said. Earl's music inspired countless fans across the world, and his iconic legacy will live on forever. We appreciate all of the love and support during this incredibly difficult time. I can only imagine, and prayers go out to this family. I hope and pray for strength. To deal with this situation. Is never easy losing any loved one, like whether they're young, older, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I feel bad when I see people lose their life on TV and on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, and I don't even know those people. And I'm feeling bad. Imagine DMX, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had faith in the Lord. Like, DMX, it was actually one of those rappers that I love listening to, and he intertwined God and spirituality into his music subliminally, and people, he did it so dope like that people didn't even realize he was spitting a gospel through his rhymes at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I liked about him as an artist, more than anything, was his connection with the Lord. Although he had a battle with this addiction, that, you know, it was ongoing for a long time. It says here, known for his electrifying hits, aggressive rhymes, and growling voice, DMX defined the 2000s era of hip hop, becoming the first artist to debut an album at number one 5 times in a row on the Billboard charts. He also became a welcome face on screen, becoming an actor with roles in the cult classic Belly in 1998, Romeo Must Die in 2000, and Exit Wounds in 2001. Fellow musicians and celebrities responded to news of DMX's hospitalization with public displays of support and condolences to his family, including Missy Elliott, Ja Rule, Rick Ross, Cisco, LL Cool J, and Chance the Rapper. And his fans hopped to lift him up outside the hospital where he was admitted. Dozens attended a prayer vigil, playing the rapper's greatest hits, chanting his name, and sharing their love for his work. So yeah, this is big. The rapper was born on December 18th, 1970 in Mount Vernon, New York, and eventually moved to the city of Yonkers. He often spoke of growing up in an abusive household. I'm sorry, I almost said growling because you know how he used to do the dog, you know, the growl. Growing up in an abusive household and turning to the music as an outlet. In his 2003 autobiography, he wrote about his family's struggles, calling his childhood rough. He said he was hit by a car at a young age and abused by his family, which led him to act out at home and at school. After gaining a reputation for being crazy, DMX taught himself how to beatbox and created a new name and identity for himself while struggling with addiction. But before he could perform as a DJ, he needed a name. Help came in the form of one of the greatest drum audio machines at the time. DMX was the name of one of the best early drum machines a lot of the kids were using. And since I felt I was nice with the beats, I took that. It was strong, powerful, he wrote. I liked the 3 letters and thought it would be cool to make them stand for different things. So when I went back to Children's Village after my home visit, I was no longer Earl Simmons or Crazy Earl. I was DMX. DMX, the beatbox enforcer. X's music was often an honest reflection of his personal struggles, containing themes of religion, violence, and redemption. In 1998, he released his debut album, It's Dark, Hell is Hot, which is debuted at number 1 on the music charts. Which debuted at number 1 in the music charts. He's often credited with reinvigorating the New York rap scene. And over the course of his career, he released a total of 7 albums and was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards. In a 2019 interview, he spoke about his love of performing on stage in front of his fans. Performing in front of people was beyond a high. It's beyond a high that any drug could duplicate, he told GQ at the time. Just being on stage, period, and knowing that there's so much love out there. Wow. Wow, man, this is deep, man. God bless you. Rest in paradise, King. You know, may God bless your soul. May God forgive you for all your sins. You know what I'm saying? And I hope you rest in paradise, man. I hope you enter the gates of heaven. That's all that matters. I know you did because I know your faith was strong regardless to what. So, yeah, shout out to DMX. OD. Miss Hadi, I don't know if you got the link, but I'm gonna drop it for you in the chat because or just check your IG so you can come up here and review. So now we're gonna get to the part that everybody's been waiting for. So we're gonna jump into the big pun. Give me a moment here. So we're gonna jump into the big pun.
Deal with, crackheads and women and
Hold on. So pretty much we interviewed with Big Pun's sister. She told us that she's been feeling away since Big Pun passed. And she's been feeling like, she's not claiming that she knows for sure that his wife Liza Rios had anything to do with it, but she has been feeling, in her spirit that she might have had something to do with it. Whether it was neglect or whether it was some kind of involvement when it came to his death. So this is really big allegations or feelings that she has. Um, and we're going to get into it because she's pretty much requiring or asking. She's been asking Liza, because some people may say, well, why is she asking now? We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down. We're going to see a little bit of the beginning where it all stemmed from, and we're going to see a little bit of the documentary that Big Pun's wife Liza made after he passed. So this is bits and clips from the documentary. It's not the whole thing. If you want to see the whole thing, you could obviously know where to find it. Just type it in on YouTube and pretty much it'll come out. But we're gonna start off with this. I'm gonna drop the link for Miss Hottie. So this is just for Miss Hottie to click on right now. Please, no one else click on the link, just in case you don't have it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start this video real quick. It's gonna pretty much be explaining a little bit of Christopher Rios' past, A.K.A. Big Pun's past. So the things he went through as a child, and pretty much the person narrating through this whole documentary is Liza Rios, A.K.A. his wife. All right, this is actually Liza Rios speaking in the beginning right now.
He used to deal with, crackheads and women and, like grown women, what I'm saying? He used to deal in the street, what I'm saying, a lot. So he dealt with that. He never dealt with, a girl. One time I went to his house. It was by 161st by Yankee Stadium. His mom was like on drugs and she was living there with some accountant. But I didn't know the seriousness of like his, his family, like his life, like what was going on, anything like that. And I was young at 14, you don't really ask them things and nothing like that. I would say when Chris was a small child.
So that was Liza Rios, A.K.A. Hey, sis, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome. What's up? Welcome Miss Shotty to the panel, everybody. A.K.A. my co-host.
Okay. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, man. Listen, it's been a long week. You and I have been working hard on this whole story with Big Pun and his sister and his wife. Is a really sad situation. Because there's a lot of division when it comes to the family and the fans and friends. It's been like, for over 2 decades, everybody's divided. Like I've been seeing the comments, and a lot of people, are siding with what Liza's saying, and a lot of people are siding with what Pun's family and sister's saying. So I've been working hard on this whole. You got me in the background. I see. All right, so in the beginning, that was Liza. She was speaking about Pun sleeping with crackheads and stuff in the street. It's like I said in the interview before. You remember watching the documentary, sis, and how did you feel about the way Liza was speaking on Big Pun? Like, I felt in a way like, okay, she was releasing, like she said in her own words, she was releasing her demons. You know what I'm saying? And she has every right to. She was a battered woman, according to her, according to certain people. So, and we all saw the video where she's getting, she gets physically abused. We're gonna get to that anyway, but I guess let me just play this and then we'll get to the next. Because we'll be stopping like every 15 seconds or so. You already know, due to copyright guys and regulations and all that. So
when I did not.
This is Pun's mother, by the way, y'all. Shout out to her and respect to her. Every mother is your queen, regardless. So yeah.
I have a problem with drugs. I was a nurturing mother. I was very close to my children. I did not know what drugs were at the time. And he had a loving family environment. Things changed when I became divorced from his father.
Chris loved my dad, and I loved my dad, but we weren't very close. My dad cheated on my mom, and my mom caught him.
I became single, and I started joining the single scene, and I experimented with drugs. Then I met Nicole's father,
I stopped doing drugs at the time, but then about 2 years into the marriage, I realized he was on heroin. That's when I started. It was a
Okay, so pretty much Big Pun's mother, she came out on a documentary. I'm sure a lot of you guys watched it, saying just this. And it kind of paints a picture of Big Pun's upbringing. You know, many of us have family members that were on some kind of addiction. You know what I'm saying? And addiction could be anything. Um, so we've all had a family member that's been on some kind of addiction. It's not something that, you know, a lot of the times when you're not in their shoes or somebody's not in somebody's shoes, you don't really understand what's going on. So it's not something that you can say, well, they're being egoistic or whatever the case is. They not trying to stop. They don't love us. Is a battle within themselves. You know what I'm saying? So the mother's pretty much, you know, telling us how the childhood was. It was good up until a certain point in her life where she was using certain drugs, and she, you know, she didn't give Pun the nurture and the care. So this is something that stems from Pun's childhood. I just want to get that clear. This is something that if you're just meeting somebody for the first time as a child and you're seeing these things, you're seeing them getting kicked out, you're seeing them being neglected, you're seeing that they have some kind of trauma that they've been through. This is something that raises a red flag in the normal person, correct? It'll raise a red flag like, okay, wait a minute, something's not right with this kid. Mind you, so him and Liza were kids when they met, you know, 13, 14 or so, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, it's different when kids deal with this kind of trauma, right? Okay, let's continue.
great impact on my son because I couldn't be nourishing if I was on drugs. That's not the way I wanted it to be. I wanted to be a mother to him, but at the time I didn't know how to deal with my pain.
And it was hard visiting my mom when Tommy was there. Tommy was very hard on Chris. He was 11, I was 13, or even younger. You know, throughout the years I was and I hate saying that I was never old enough to defend him because I should have. Even, I should have did something, said something. Tommy would wake up Chris in the middle of the night. I mean, we're sleeping in the room, and Tommy would just come in and get up, and turn the lights on and make him get up and do push-ups and smack him in the back of his head. And I mean, he was just so harsh on him, And I would just I would be scared and I would shun myself in a corner.
All right, so this is Big Pun's other sister, Pina, right? So she's just pretty much just saying, how she felt bad for Big Pun growing up. His stepdad was pretty militant with him, so he was pretty strict, and he, raised them old school with that machismo, toughen them up stuff. So we can all agree that Pun had a really, really, really tough upbringing. He was a troubled child. You know what I'm saying? He was in need of nurturing from his mom, and he had a tough physical, I guess, relationship with his stepfather. I'm not sure, allegedly, according to what Liza has said, on interviews. So she knew this. You know what I'm saying? She knew that he had these troubles, these trials, these tribulations, and these traumas. And I guess as a child, as a 13, 14-year-old, she probably said, okay, well, maybe it's not that serious. Let's go ahead and date, right? Let me go ahead and continue. I want to move to this part here. All right.
And what happened during the week,
He always says how Tommy came and he just took an apple and from deep just threw it at him and hit him in the face, which, the apple's like a rock.
All right, that was Liza right there. That's Big Pun's wife. So Liza was pretty much describing how, she was saying that his stepdad threw an apple at his face or whatever the case was, that these were stories Big Pun would tell her, or she either saw it or Big Pun. I believe she said Big Pun told her these things. So going back to what I was saying earlier, she kind of knew that there was, some abuse according to whatever he was telling her, or whatever, there was some kind of neglect. And she knew these things about Pun. So it's like, okay, you're already putting yourself in danger. As a kid, as every teenage kid does, they don't really look into these things. And parents are the ones called crazy and all kinds of stuff when you kind of warn them. And, you know how it goes. Let's continue.
I know my brother.
This is Nicky Rodriguez A.K.A. Sister Pun, the one that we interviewed. This is her back in the day in the documentary. I'm just putting y'all on so y'all can know who's who and what's going on.
He would get stressed out sometimes and he would punch holes in the wall and eat the rocks in the wall. I know, like I said, my father, I never with my father physically abusing him, but my father was hard on him, you know, always comparing him and stuff like that. He wanted him to be like a military boy, and you go to my brother's room, he have holes all over the wall, you know, that he just been eating because he been stressed out. That was his way of dealing with his anger at the time.
Okay, I want you guys to pay really, really close attention to what Nicky Rodriguez, A.K.A. Sister Pun, just said. She said that Pun would be so mad that he will punch holes in the wall and then he'll eat the rocks inside of the wall. Do you know how damaging that is to eat the rocks from inside the wall? These walls, you know, back in the day, a lot of these walls had asbestos and all kinds of stuff. Like, this is deadly. But I'm not saying that's what killed him. I'm just saying that it's still damaging to you. Now, I say that because then this is the next part that I want you to listen to. This is Pun's grandmother now telling you about, you know, his issue with the rocks.
Terrible temper when he was young. He would get so red. I mean, so red that I think this kid is gonna burst. And then he would clench his teeth. And he started biting rocks. And as he got bigger, it was more rocks, bigger rocks.
So see, as he got bigger, it was more rocks and bigger rocks that he was eating. This is what Big Pun's grandmother's telling us in the documentary. Okay. And I'm going to fast forward all this to today, present time, on why the beef that whatever disagreement, I don't want to call it a beef, but whatever division there is between the families going on right now, it brings it to now to present time. So I'm breaking it all down for you guys. All right, let me just continue playing this part real quick.
And I tell him, that's going to mess up your inside. Chris, you can't be eating rocks. It was rocks and ice. He would just push. You got to have teeth made of steel. And it was a bad habit. We couldn't do anything about it. Because, not me, he would never tell me going to get rocks for her. But he had LIZA getting all this stuff. And she...
You heard what the grandmother just said. He had LIZA getting all this stuff for him, all the rocks for him to eat. So this is what I'm trying to understand. You know, I just don't understand how somebody can bring somebody rocks for them to eat. I don't know what kind of relationship, or it's just that's already like a huge, it's like you need some kind of help. You know, something's not right, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, you know, something's not right. And Big Pun was a really smart guy. I don't think he had like a mental disability, you know, but clearly something's not right.
Couldn't. I wasn't, wouldn't, but she couldn't say no.
My father supposedly approached Tommy, but Tommy denied it all. And
okay, so you heard what the grandmother said. LIZA couldn't say no to Pun. Maybe it was because Pun beat her. Who knows what it was? But she couldn't say no when it came to bringing him the rocks for him to eat, which sounds absurd if you really think about it. But this is LIZA.
Didn't allow her to be
Pun's sister here, but this is LIZA.
Better mom. So she didn't defend Chris.
He used to tell me he used to live in Fordham. He was like 7, 8 years old, going by himself to pay Con Edison, which is crazy. I got my son 8 years old. I can never picture him like, yeah, go take this bill across the Bronx and pay a bill. You know what I'm saying? By yourself.
Yo, first of all, okay, I'm sorry. You know, I got to call a spade a spade. If you know where Fordham Road is, and you know that back in the day, Con Edison was on Fordham Road. So she just said that Big Pun lived on Fordham Road at some point and went to go pay a bill at Con Edison by himself, but he went all the way across the Bronx. Con Edison was on Fordham Road. So all he had to do was probably walk down one block. You know what I'm saying? So I got to call a spade a spade. That's not accurate, because if I'm not mistaken, one of the, if not the only Con Edison in the entire Bronx was on Fordham Road for a good minute. So, you know, I don't think Big Punch, listen, if he was in the streets and he was doing his own thing, he was traveling across town on his own, that's one thing. But I don't know if his mom was sending him across the town. But anyway, that's your story. That's what you said. I'm gonna respect that. But we're gonna continue, and then we'll get more to the story.
He went through a lot of hunger, a lot of, not being dressed properly, not having proper shoes.
My brother had a really tough life.
Big Pun was a great husband. I mean that's the bottom line. His wife stood with $10,000 in her pocket. She stood with a new car. If it wasn't a Benz, it was a truck. He had it in houses.
So that was Fat Joe actually pretty much vouching for Big Pun being a great husband. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of his wife. Now this is LIZA RIOS' brother that's about to speak. He's also vouching for Big Pun being a great husband. Hold on one second.
Hope I could love somebody the way he loved my sister. Besides someone who's family, he loved my sister to death. I honestly, he'll do anything. He did anything for my sister. No matter before the rapping, before all that bullshit, there was always, he was there. He supported 100%. He could have easily blown up in peace. You know what I'm saying? I'll find some dumb bitch to do everything for me too.
So pretty much I think he's subliminally referring to his sister as a dumb bitch for doing everything for Pun. If you ask me, because he said Pun could have easily said peace and found another dumb bitch to do everything for him too, is what he said. But nevertheless, he's agreeing with the fact that Big Pun loved his sister. He really loved her. He really was a good husband, whatever the case was. So this is another person. I believe Cuban Link has came out on multiple interviews saying the same thing. So I believe that Pun did love her, and I believe she loved him. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad what they went through. It's really sad. Physical abuse or violence is not the answer in no case, in no way, shape, or form, and it shouldn't be justified. That's definitely not the case, what I'm trying to point out, but that is part of the case, and it shouldn't be negated or ignored. So I do get that part of her life, and I do feel bad for her having to go through that. And we're gonna get a little bit deeper into that in a minute.
That's easy to do. Nah, he stuck it through. Those were his kids. He loved his kids and my sister. That was one thing I knew for sure. That's one thing I could never deny him. Pun was.
He knew how to have fun, and we would laugh, but like his dark side, which was basically my whole, it was more bad times than good times. You know what I'm saying? And, the main reasons why I had all that jewelry and all them cars was because out of guilt. They were guilt gifts. I was...
Okay, so when she says the main reason she had all that jewelry and all them cars was out of guilt, what do you get from that, Miss Hadi? Miss Hadi, are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. What do you sorry, I was in there.
As somebody from the outside watching in, what would you make out of that statement?
I mean, at one point in life, I was Liza in that situation. So
you know what it is to stay in a toxic.
I know what it feels like to get beat and then get jewelry the next day, or get, you know what I mean, a bill paid. You know what I mean? I never dated a rapper to his, you know what I'm saying, that had the income he did, but to get that light bill paid, or to get, you know what I'm saying, just because.
Wow, so you're the perfect person. You're the perfect person to ask this question to. Is it safe to say that a part of you dealt with the abuse because of the gifts that you were being rewarded with?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. The gifts made it better, you know what I mean? Because it also brought hope that it won't happen again.
Right.
But there does come a point, I mean, it did become a point in my relationship at that time that this just ain't it. I don't want no more gifts. I want out.
Right.
And that's why I'm trying to understand, when did Liza, or has she ever thought of, I want out. I don't want the gifts no more. The gifts is just there to pacify the situation. You know what I mean? And at that time, we got to think back. This wasn't 2021 when this happened. This was early 90s. So at that time, and that era in life, this thing really wasn't, sometimes it was looked at as cute to get yoked up by your man. And that was a sign of a sign of love. Oh, he loves me. That's why he does this. Like that was really a thing back then.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where it is now, where it's like the first sign, that first red flag, skate. Like that's what is being taught now, but it wasn't being taught then.
Back then, it's if your man don't hit you, he don't love you. Like
right.
Which is crazy if you ask me. But yeah, that was a thing.
It truly is.
But yeah, that's absolutely a good point that you bring up, and being that you are a victim of the same type of abuse and stuff like that, you can speak on it. So yeah, when she said, he would reward me with the gifts and the cars and the jewelry, it kind of makes me feel like, okay, so what do you need to determine when enough is enough, or when do you determine enough is enough? But we're going to get into that a little bit more in a few minutes, in a few moments. Let's just
basically a battered wife for 12 years.
So she says she was a battered wife for 12 years. So 12 years too long. You know what I'm saying? We saw one video, which is coming up. It's the only video we've seen. We didn't know of any abuse before. At least to the public's knowledge, until after he passed. So it's a little bit confusing to the people that are watching from the outside and are looking in and are saying, man, Pun passes away, and here you have his wife pretty much praising him, but tearing him down in a way at the same time. It like she was giving him his love and respect, and pretty much trying to keep his legacy going. But then she every chance she got that I saw, which was several interviews, she was bring back the fact that she was being abused by Pun for X amount of years, and it was almost like she was going on a domestic violence campaign. I think she did. I think she was even advocating for that at some point or something like that. But it was just a little bit odd because after the death of Pun, or the documentary, I think the fans expected, more uplifting, more like, a lot of the fans were confused. Like, okay, well, why now? Like, why didn't you make, scream out for help before? And then she claims because she was scared. But we're going to keep going. And there's more questions to this, because it's like, okay, if you were so scared, why you did this? So I just want to make sense out of it. And I want you guys to tell me what you feel. I don't want to feel like, I'm just the one thinking outside the box, but I can tell you what I feel later. We're gonna go ahead and play this.
Not dead, because I could have been. I've been hit, smacked, punched, gun clapped, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You name it, I've been through it. He had like this real dark side. You know what I'm saying? And he would want to kill me. He would get upset, or whatever problems he had, or any pain that he had. Anybody got upset, especially a lot of from his past, like with his mom and all that. So anything that he went through, I paid the price. Basically, his husband Hector. March was there, his DJ LaVar, few cats, kids, Pina's kids. So he had this gat under the pillow that he was looking for. And I left it there. That's where I put it. So he was looking for the gat, and he...
So she felt like Pun wanted to kill her, according to her. You know what I'm saying? This is her words. She felt like he could have killed her at any point, right? Now, here they are living in a house full of gaps, like, quoting what she said, A.K.A. full of guns, you know what I mean? Full of burners, whatever you want to call it. This is an unsafe, unstable, abusive environment in a whole. Not just for Liza, not just for Pun, but first and foremost, and most importantly, for the kids. It's really sad that these kids grew up in this kind of environment. And I'm sorry to say, I don't like people's business, or, if family issues being exposed like this on TV, but this has been exposed. This is public knowledge, and I'm just pretty much reiterating and, emphasizing on what's already been put out there. But this is sad. And these kids grew up in this rage and this abuse. As a mother, when is it time to say, I just want to know, because I have a lot of people that's been through abuse that follow me and support me, and vice versa. I just want to know, when do you say enough is enough? Let me take my kids out of this situation and get out of here while I can, because I feel like my life is at jeopardy. It's at stake. I feel in danger and fear, like he might kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, not sure. Nikki will be here eventually, but I just want to get through this because we're gonna make sense out of this right now.
He could find him, like, it's there. I put it there. No, it's not here. So I'm like, I don't know where it's at. Oh, how do you know? How is that you don't know where it's at? I'm like, I left it there. So it came out that someone had moved it, whether it been the grandmother or someone had moved it besides me, which I didn't know nothing about.
She misplaced something, and it wasn't even her fault. It was actually my husband's fault. I don't even know if she knows that. There was something that Chris wanted, and Liza put it in a certain place, but my husband felt that it was dangerous for it to be there.
Absolutely, I agree with Big Pun's sister Pina. That's his other sister. And yeah, it was really unsafe. I agree with her husband and her. It was unsafe for those guns to be placed where they were placed. You know what I'm saying? There's kids around, kids are curious. They grab things, they play with it. It's a really unsafe environment. So I agree with what she just said.
He saw it. So my husband moved it. Now, Chris asked Liza to go get this item, and it wasn't where Liza left. Chris is like, Liza, you better find it. You better find it. He was, getting really irate, and she was getting very nervous. And so finally, my husband came up to me, thank God. And he was like, I know where, what it is you're talking about. It's behind the bed. So I run and I tell Liza, it's behind the bed. Hector moved it.
So I'm sure many of you have seen this video. It's been going viral for years, where many people has been watching it. And pretty much Big Pun is Liza set up some cameras in the house, and Big Pun is caught on camera pistol whipping her, which is what she's talking about here with the sister. So this is the one video that we all saw that showed some kind of domestic violence. Okay,
he gives it to Chris, and Chris knocks her across the face with it.
And he just came and he swung at me and hit me with the gat in my face, and my eye just went out. And it was closed shut. It was like so much pain. I felt like I got shot in my eye. I thought my eyeball came out, and I just grabbed it and I just screamed and I ran up the stairs. You know what I'm saying? And I went to the bathroom, and Pina was there with the kids, and her little daughter Rebecca was crying.
With the kids. You know what I'm saying? These kids were around. They were crying in the bathroom. She says to this day, one of the little girls remembers everything. This is, you know what I'm saying? It's not a safe or healthy environment for the kids.
To this day, she still remembers. It's crazy. And I was pacing upstairs, right? And in my room, in my room that had this shotgun, and I was about to load it and come downstairs and blast a nigga. That's my word. I was gonna blast him. I said, I come downstairs, nigga's gonna finish me off. You know what I'm saying? So I just got the courage to come downstairs. I came down, and
So Liza, A.K.A. Big Pun's wife, is pretty much telling us in this documentary that she had a shotgun in her room, and she was going to use the shotgun to come downstairs and blast Big Pun and pretty much kill him. And she's thinking all this with the kids in the house. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, when you're fearful and terrified of somebody, when they have such a hold on your entire life, and you're fearful to the fact where they tell you jump and you say, how high? You know what I'm saying? Or it's fearful to the fact where you can't even blink the wrong way because you're going to get beat or whatever the case is. How do you get the courage to get this gun or even think about getting this gun and blasting your man and killing him? And then she comes back down without the gun, and she just breaks out with him. Let's continue.
And that was it. I came down the steps, and he was like, that's it, suck it up, you know what I'm saying? And just let's keep unpacking, let's go. I threw on some shades, I wiped my face. Everybody in the house was like this. Everybody started breaking out mad quick. Oh, let me go, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Pina was still stressed. She was upset. She was arguing with him, whatever. And he's, mind my business, mind your business. My wife, I'll do whatever I want. That sort of shit. And I packed my shit and I bounced for a whole month on tour.
He did it in front of me. So
There you go. So look, these are the situations where your family gets involved. They try to, mediate the situation. They try to help some kind of way, shape, or form. And next thing you know, they're back together. The couple is back together. The toxicness, the toxicity is back. Um, whatever it is that's creating all this negativity and all this trauma, pretty much for everybody, it is crazy because it's like, okay, there was people trying to help. There was people trying to intervene. There was people trying to fix the situation. You knew your life was in danger. You felt the courage to actually want to kill the man as well. So it was you know what I'm saying? Like it was a mutual danger. They were a danger to each other, really, and these kids. But let's continue.
But like I said, he never checked himself in the hospital. He never used to the whole time that I was with him, the whole 10 years, he never went to a physical. He never went to a doctor, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It became a problem after a while. I remember
10 years, no physical. I mean, if you're scared of your man, do you at least tell him, baby, I love you to death. I love you dearly, and I want you to really be healthy and take care of yourself and go check your health. Do you at least encourage them? Come on, baby, I'll do it with you. I'll go to the hospital with you, man. You want me to start working out with you? Let's go to the gym together. Yo, let's eat organic, whatever. Like, even as a scared, battered woman or man or whoever victim, do you at least still encourage your lover, your husband, your wife, your spouse, your significant other to be healthy because you know that they have a dire condition or they're overweight excessively? Do you at least tell them? What do you think, Miss Hottie? What would you do?
Absolutely. I just had this
Good.
conversation with my husband yesterday.
Okay, good. Okay.
That just makes me ask her, did she go? She didn't seem like okay, I'm sorry. That's not right.
Yeah, no, I want to be as fair as possible. I'm trying to see who
Right.
did
I'm trying to be as transparent as possible as well. I mean, she was the younger, she was younger than Pun by a few
by
years,
like
right?
2 years, yeah, 2, 3 years, yeah. So my thing is, she was a little younger, but they were together for what she said, 12 years, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they started at like, let's say 13, 14. During this time, you get mature, you become a woman, you become a man, you start to think, well, listen, it's been 10 years of this. My kids is, they're not safe. This is not good. It's not healthy. My husband's not eating healthy. This is abusive. This is toxic. When do you even say at least, well, baby, if you want to live, like you got to go. She mentioned it in a documentary, I think once. She said at the end, like, this is ridiculous when you're trying to go to the hospital, whatever the case was. But 10 years, I feel like there's some kind of like, when you love somebody, man, listen, you worry about that person deep. Like, yo, did you eat? You worry about everything. Like, yo, but I'm just trying to figure out how much, because she says she had a love and hate relationship with Pun. So what overruled what? Like, was it more hate? Was it more love? Was it equal hate and love? You know what I'm saying? So we're just trying to make sense of things today. Let's continue.
After when he did the first album, he was on the first tour, he was heavy on shows, and it was sometimes be hard for him to get dressed. And so without me being there, so I started realizing that it was going to be a problem. And then as time escalated even more, it started getting worse. And then there was a time that he couldn't do anything for himself. He couldn't use a bathroom by himself. He couldn't take a bath by himself. He couldn't get dressed by himself. Couldn't clean himself by himself. I did everything. I was basically like a home nurse. It was like a job.
So she's pretty much saying that it was like a job for her to, take care of Pun at one point. At one point, it got so bad where he got overweight, where he couldn't really do the everyday things for himself, and she had to help him bathe, and there's that in the third. So it became like a job. To me, it feels like this became a huge weight for LIZA on top of whatever else they had going on. You know what I'm saying? This became a huge weight. This is someone that's quote unquote scared of Pun, scared for her life. Now she has to deal with bathing him. So I'm just trying to give you the characteristics of why or how a person like, Sister Pun, aka Nikki Rodriguez, Big Pun's sister, would think, like, listen, you probably blew up. You probably had enough. And you did what you had to do. Allegedly. I could see why now when I piece everything together. Because when Pun, the documentary came out back in the day and all that stuff, I was still like, yo, what's going on? Like, how Pun died like this, and all of a sudden, all this has come to the light where he was abusive, he was this, that. Like, where's the good stuff about Pun? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's saying the good stuff? Who's continuing the legacy?
She did say it was more bad than good. She said it out of her own mouth. She said it was more bad than good.
So, okay, let's continue.
I was nervous, I was nervous that he was going to stop breathing because he was losing his breath in his sleep, So that's when I started getting really worried, and I would tell Liza, is he going to choke? And she's like, no, that's how he sleeps. He's.
So this is Pun's other sister, Pina. She's actually concerned for Pun, the way he's breathing. He looks like he's choking in his sleep. So she's telling his wife, yo, you think he's going to choke? And she's just, Liza's like, nah, that's the way he sleeps. So this is just another situation where it could have been a serious thing or a serious sign leading to what, to the death. Who knows? But I feel like that should have been checked out right there where he was suffocating in his sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was irresponsible. For nobody around him, whether it was his camp, his management team, whoever, his wife, whoever it was, or everybody collectively. But, let's continue.
It's fine. But to her, what was normal to me was, fear.
Pun came in.
And I called Steve Rifkin. And I told him, look, my brother is very overweight and I'm worried about him. I know you look at him as dollar signs, but he's my brother. And you guys better figure out a way for him to lose this weight because he's not listening to me. I can't afford to go and take him to the doctor, but you guys can. So you take some of that money that you're making from his album and you go pay and you get him to a doctor.
Right.
Okay. I take that back. Somebody was actually trying to get help for Pun. His sister. She called the record label owner, Steve Rifkin, and she said, take some of the money you've been making off my brother and take him to the doctor, make sure he stay alive, because all you care about is the guap right now. You know what I'm saying? So somebody actually was doing what they were supposed to, you know what I'm saying, when it came to Pun's health. And it was his sister. So if she did it, Pun didn't kill her. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he would have not killed Liza for, inquiring. Well, then again, he probably had a different relationship. But I'm just saying, like, this is something that you're caring for, is somebody that you love. So you want to know about their health. You want to know why he's not getting the help that he needs.
I don't remember what Steve told me. I think he said, like, Chris is a grown man, and he knows what he can and cannot do or something. I'm not sure exactly what his words were to me. Steve was a little sharp with me. Now, Christopher got upset, not with me, but with Steve for getting sharp with me. So he called Steve, and I don't know what he told him. But then the next day, Steve called me to tell me, look, we're going to put him in a doctor. I apologize if I offended you in any way. I mean, Steve was very apologetic to me. I didn't mean to upset Steve, and I didn't mean.
See, so, Pun actually got mad at Steve for getting a little snotty with his sister. He didn't even get mad at his sister like that. So, he knew that they was trying to look out for him. He knew she was trying to look out. So this is what I'm trying to say. Hold on.
To upset Chris. I had like a set goal. I just want my brother to get some help. And, sometimes you have to step on some toes to get what you want. And, I stepped on a few toes.
He was telling me like, yo, Joe, man, I feel sick. Or, my legs hurt or some shit like that. And I was just like, wow, this nigga's getting sick. So I would do anything for Pun. Whatever he would want to do. So we forced him to go to North Carolina. He lost weight. He was looking good.
So this is another person that actually looked out. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, people was like, yo, you didn't do nothing for Pun, Joe. You didn't do nothing. You didn't care about him dying or nothing like that. But now we could actually see, like, Joe was actually one of the few people that did something. He sent them to the camp to lose weight and all that. He lost like 80 to 100 pounds. So, he was trying, he forced him. And Pun was hard headed. Like, it was hard to force him to do things. So, yeah, man, let's continue.
The computer looking for information on stomach thickening. I got several different doctors' names. I got places like fat farm type places where you go and you actually stay there. I mean, I drew up all this information. I even called my job that day and said that I wasn't coming into work. And I called Liza. It was around 9 a.m. now. And I said, Liza, I got information. I said, wake up Chris. She says, no, he's tired. He's sleepy. He doesn't want to get up. I said, all right, well, call me when he gets up.
All right, so this part, Liza is in a hotel room. This is the day that Big Pun passes. So, his sister calls Liza, the wife, and she says, I want to speak to Pun. But, Liza says, Pun is sleeping. I'll call you when he wakes up. All right.
She called me at around 11. And she said, Pina, look, your brother, he's having trouble breathing. Your brother hates water. And he's asked me for like about 8 glasses of water. She goes, I don't know what's wrong with him. I said, well, Liza, call the doctor, to see if the doctor could come to the hotel. She said,
right, call a doctor. I think my first call would have been a doctor. I mean, if you're scared that he's going to get mad at you for calling it, he would have been mad at you for calling the family, regardless. So why not call a doctor first? Make sure that doctor's in that hospital, in that hotel room, before anything. I'm just trying to figure that part out, but let's continue.
So that she did, but that the doctor was on vacation or something. The doctor couldn't come. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, well, what are you gonna do? She goes, well, let's just wait a little while. I'm gonna give him the water. Maybe it'll go away. I said, all right, Liza, well, let me know.
Wow. So according to Big Pun's sister, Liza, the woman on the screen, the wife, says, no, let's just wait. Let's just wait. This is a crucial statement right here, guys, because waiting could save someone's life. And I'm sorry, waiting could either kill someone, that could you potentially save their life. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of time. Every second counts. So a lot of people were left wondering, well, what if she waited too long? According to, stuff I've seen, what if she waited too long? And this is pretty much how his sister, Nikki, feels. Let's go ahead and keep listening.
It was kind of weird. I felt that something was going to happen. And I had called my assistant and I told him, I said, listen, it was around 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. I told him, I said, don't even bring my kids here because I know something's going to go down and I'm not sure what it is. So, I'd rather you take them to my mother's house because I know my brother's there.
So she calls me. She's like, yo, this nigga ain't doing too good. Reef went to go get the kids. So I'm gonna have Reef drop off the kids by your crib. And
where's the paramedics? I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure it out, man. I'm just trying to make sense of all this. It's been 21 years. And we still don't really know now. And with these new allegations and feelings that are surfacing, it just brings more questions and more red flags. But this is Liza's brother speaking about the situation when Pun passed.
And then he's gonna shoot back up here. She was like, this nigga don't want me to call an ambulance, but I called an ambulance because it looks, I'm scared. So I'm like, all right, I'm here, don't worry about it. So just call me, everything's gonna be all right.
I leaned his head back and I tried to see if I could give him CPR or something. His head was right here, but it was like his tongue was sticking out so much. And he had like so much saliva. And it was like, I couldn't do it.
Wow. So this is one of the parts that really, really, really shocked me. When his wife says his tongue was sticking out and he has so much saliva that I couldn't give him CPR. Now, this is one of the parts that always stuck out to me because after the documentary, I seen Liza on certain interviews, and it was just like, she spoke on Pun with like a negative undertone, and I'm just thinking, why is just all, this is all we keep hearing. And then we see the documentary where she's saying like I couldn't give him CPR because he was salivating. But you told us that you cleaned him, you bathed him. You know what I'm saying? You cleaned him, you wiped his ass, pretty much is what you said. So my thing is, if you did all these things, how hard was it to give somebody, your lover, your husband, father of your kids, CPR in a dire situation, life or death? How hard is it to do it? Because his tongue is sticking out, he's salivating. Um, love has no boundaries. So it just it brings confusion. You know what I'm saying? It brings confusion to a deep thinker. Um, I like to really dissect the human brain and the thoughts, and I always like to get to the root cause of things. Like, okay, this person did this person did that, but why did they do it? Why? What was behind this? The reasoning. You know what I'm saying? For them to do something like this.
So then I came and I grabbed him and I picked him up, and he was just still shaking. And I just grabbed him, and for that minute, I was like, oh my God, I'm losing my husband. He's dying on me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like his whole life flashed in front of my eyes. I just like saw everything from the beginning to the end, everything that we've been through, everything that we've gone through. And it was just like a real weird feeling. I called Joe, I had the phone in this hand, and then I had my other hand on his by his phone. And I'm telling Joe, yo, you gotta come down here, right away, there's shit going on right here. So he was like, right away. So he hung up the phone.
So she calling Fat Joe, telling him he got to come down here to the hotel room because look, it's not looking good for Pun. And according to her, Joe was on his way down. Man, this is a really sad situation. I feel like there was just so many. There was certain conflicting things during this whole moment of, him needing the help and the urgency of it, of that help, and it just leaves questions in everybody's heads, and in a bad taste. It's just like, yo, what if this happened? Would Punch still be here? I'm just saying, people do panic, people do go into state of shock, but I'm just saying how it's gonna look from the outside in. You know what I'm saying? This is how it looks from a lot of the point of views from the fans, a lot of their perspectives. So this is what we're discussing now, and we have the sister, which is Pun's family, blood, feeling this way. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
And right when I hung up the phone, his pulse, I didn't feel nothing on his neck. He had no pulse. And like 2-3 seconds later, the paramedics came. Basically, I gave them their space, you know what I'm saying, like 15-20 minutes.
5 minutes later, the kids come, so it's like, yeah, what's up, kids? Hey, yo. Hey, watch TV. Boom, it was like 3 o'clock already, the kids coming out of school, so they watch the TV. Boom, the phone rings again, Alan calls me, come over. She's like, yo, ambulance here, this nigga stopped breathing. She was like, yo, he's not breathing, they working on him. I'm like, I'm bugging.
All right, so that's the brother pretty much saying that, she called him and said he wasn't breathing and stuff like that. So we're gonna get to what she says afterwards. All right.
But then I gotta go back to the kids and everything's gravy.
Completely disorganized. But I also say young people don't bury young every day. They were probably trying to do it their way. It was incorrect, but that was their way. The only thing I complain is that we were never asked, what would you like? Because everybody that went to that funeral, his family, everybody loved Pun. But nobody loved him more. He gave me so much.
So this is Pun's grandmother pretty much saying that, the funeral was unorganized. They didn't do it right. It was young people burying somebody young. And this lady to this day has not received, according to Pun's sister, has not received any ashes from Liza, any of Pun's ashes. Pun's grandmother is still alive. God bless her to this day. Um, so first off, she didn't have a funeral that she could direct. She didn't have a funeral where she pretty much had any say so in. Then Pun's body was rushed to be cremated after the funeral, which was not something that, according to his sister, wasn't planned, wasn't something that Pun wanted, which brings her more suspicion as to why as to why burn the body. So let's continue.
But yet he gave me a lot of hell. And him dying, part of me died, but then it's like part of me started to live again. Like it was the end of one part of my life, but it was the beginning of another. And it was the worst day of my life because I was losing my friend. I was losing the father of my kids. It was the first man I ever been with in my life, with my first boyfriend, the first guy I had sex with. I just didn't know how I was gonna. I know I'll make it.
So see, in most of her interviews, this is how she pretty much speaks of Pun. She'll, say that she loved him. He was the father of her kids. He took care of the kids or whatever. And then she follows right after with saying, how she had a love and hate and he was abusive and this, that, and the third. So it always was that. So people really, I feel like the fans were confused for years. Like they didn't really know, like, okay, is she continuing his legacy? Is she making his legacy live on? Or do we even continue, cherishing Pun? Do we even continue celebrating him because he abused her so bad? Like, we don't know what to do. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It was really confusing. You know what I'm saying? And let me just show you what I'm talking about.
I survived because I survived so much already, what I went through for 10 years, and I made it on my own. But it was just like, how someone could just be there the night before. I was just sleeping, in this room with him. And from one second to another, he's gone. That's it. I'm never going to see him again. I'm never going to hear him again. It was like the worst day. It was the best day of my life because I felt such a burden lifted from my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Because my relationship with him got up to a point that I didn't know who I was anymore. I wasn't happy. It was hard because I was carrying my own weight and I had to carry his weight. I had to be strong for myself and I had to be strong for him, and no one was there for me, you know what I'm saying? So, and just the fact of being a battered wife and trying to fight for my identity and my freedom, and I didn't, it was a lot of things that went on with the marriage, and it was like the best day of my.
Wow. 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 So this is her words. I could some people say they understand what she says. I could understand to a certain extent what she's saying, where it was the best and the worst day of her life. But when it comes to all the other things, you know what I'm saying, where you didn't call the medics on time or you hesitated to call the medics, let me just say that. Or you know what I'm saying, you said, oh, he'll be okay, that's just the way he's breathing. Or you didn't give him CPR because he was salivating at the mouth. When all these things play a part, then that looks a little bit suspect. You know what I'm saying? Like that comment then becomes just a tad bit suspect to a lot of people, because now it's just like, okay, wait, and you're saying he was a big weight on your shoulders. You're saying that it was the best and the worst day of your life when he passed. Then you said these other things. So wait a minute. I don't know. I don't like to speculate. I don't like to assume. I just like to put everything out there and bring all the pieces together and then see if you guys see it from a certain point of view. Let's go ahead and continue. I'm not gonna play much more. Maybe about another 5 more minutes.
My life, because I ain't have to deal with that no more. It was over, because even if he survived and we would have broke up, he still would have gave me hell. I still wouldn't be able to get out of my life, or he still would have been there. There was no way that he would have been alive and would have been separated. We always would have been together. But the only way I felt that I could go on with my life, and he knew it too, was the only way if he wouldn't be here. So like I said, it was the worst day because, never Never I thought, I had to.
All right. Well, listen. Yeah, Liza has actually blocked me after my interview with Nikki and Big Pun's cousin Booby. She blocked me. I don't know for what reason, because I didn't say really nothing bad. I was just interviewing them, getting their side, telling what I'm doing now. I'm telling everybody how a lot of the fans feel from what I've seen. You know what I'm saying, for years. Um, Different videos, different interviews and stuff, the comments and the posts online and stuff like that, different social medias. So what you've said, what the family said, what the friends said, what everybody has said collectively is this is what we're looking at, and we're just looking at the pieces. It just sucks that right now we're looking at what Liza has said throughout the years, because there's certain allegations or certain suspicions um, made against Liza from Big Pun's sister. Um, no, Keza, not Booby blocked me. Booby's actually gonna hopefully come on the panel in a few minutes, in a few seconds. Um, Not Booby. Liza, Big Pun's wife, blocked me on Instagram. This is what I'll be telling y'all, man. Y'all need to get on Instagram, because this shit, that's where it all be going down. Whoever don't follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna drop it. Is hotshot_radio on Instagram. I'm gonna drop my joint now. Um, Shout out to, oh yeah, we gotta get to that Bolo Alert joint. Bolo Alert shared my story, right? My interview with Big Pun's sister, and they didn't correctly write my name. And I feel like that was purposely. And I was gonna say shout out to Ball Alert for shouting me out, but they incorrectly shouted me out. So people didn't really know where to go find a full interview. It's a lengthy interview, like I shared earlier, it's probably like 4.5 hours long, but that's not the point. The point is that shout me out correctly. So I'm gonna need y'all to go over to Instagram right now, preferably if you can, and write Hot Shot Radio, tag me, and say I interviewed Pun's sister. Hot Shot Radio interviewed Big Pun's sister. I need all my peoples, and I don't usually use my power like this, but you know what? That got me pretty upset, because they're a pretty big platform with over 6 million followers. You know what I'm saying? And oh yeah, I heard DJ Vlad posted me, but I couldn't find it. So send it to me, Keza, when you get a chance. I appreciate it. Yeah, he got 10 million followers. I appreciate that. My thing is, give me the credit and give Nikki the credit. You know what I'm saying? Let people know where they can find an interview. And I feel like Bolo Alert had people go to their website to find one part of the interview, not even the entire thing. And then they didn't correctly, put my name, spelled my name out so that they could, or tag me. Didn't tag me at all. And I feel like that was purposely done. It was kind of fucked up. So I need y'all to go in them comments and make sure you show love. And yo, this is how you spell hot shot. I mean, that ass. Show them that y'all hotties and shooters and y'all out there to, represent. This is how you spell hot shot, man. He had that interview. What you talking about, Brawl Alert? But yeah, shout out to Hip Hop, what was it, Hip Hop Network? Few people posted. But listen, I'm just, without further ado, I'm gonna bring Nikki and Booby on stage, and we're gonna talk about this. Hopefully, I could bring them on stage now. Let me see where they at. Oh no, I can't. They're not. It's not letting me connect them. Your guest needs to connect their mic before you can add them. All right, so Nikki, if you're still backstage and you can hear me, it says you got to connect your mic, and then I can bring you on here. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this video so that it gives you time to connect your mic and all that, and come on stage if you're still available. All right, thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. This is a really, really serious, sensitive show. And shout out to Not Sure in the chats. Not Sure says Liza is posting stories on Instagram right now. I think she's watching us. Everybody be careful, please. Thank you for that information. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is very serious. And when you speak about certain things like this, people are upset. People get upset. This is people's families being spoken on. This is people's lives. So, hey, what's up? What's your opinion slash solution? So, yeah, people get upset. So I understand it's a really touchy thing to talk about. And I feel bad for everybody, including Liza. I feel bad that everybody has to go through this. The sister, the grandmother, I feel bad about a lot of things that they couldn't get the ashes and this, that, and the third. There's all this confusion, this division, and these insecurities, like these suspicions, really, of like having some kind of involvement with the death. That's serious. So let's bring Nikki is saying you got to connect your mic slash cam before you can be added. So if you see the mic button, just click on it and then I could add you. It'll let me add you on here. Um, so sis,
Yes.
Nikki told us she wants Liza to take the lie detector test.
Right.
Do you think that's fair? To say, Liza, you should take the lie detector test and put everything behind you guys. You know what I'm saying? Move forward. Get the family reunited. Do you think it's fair to say, hey, welcome to the panel, everybody. Welcome, Sister Pun. Sister Pun.
Hey.
Big Pun sister, y'all. What's up, Mama? How you doing?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me on again.
Welcome.
Hush radio.
So wait, is that Booby with you that I'm hearing?
Yeah, Booby's right here.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, what's going on, Booby?
Hello.
All right, that's perfect. So yeah, we got both of you online.
And I also have Mama Pun here today.
Oh,
Yay.
wow. Wow, that's news.
Yes,
Well,
say hi.
shout out to Mama Pun, everybody.
Hi, how you doing? It's Mama Pun
Hey,
here.
Mama Pun. What's going on? Good to speak to you. It's a pleasure, Queen.
Hey, yeah, it's much love coming from me, okay?
Wow, I appreciate it.
Yeah, she's been holding a lot of stuff in too.
I can imagine. I mean, listen, this is something really delicate, really serious, really sad. You know what I'm saying? So I could imagine, the heartache that's coming right now from everybody. Like a lot of people, most people in the family, the friends just going through this division. The fans aren't even going through it, believe it or not. Like it's a lot of fans divided right now. So this is huge, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you guys coming on. This is an exclusive, y'all. We got Mama Pun, Sister Pun, we got Cousin Booby. Like, listen, we're gonna hear it straight from them today. All right. There's no speculating here. Like,
support you.
Thank you so much, man. And so we've been listening to the documentary, Nikki and Booby, and you guys pretty much watched the documentary when it first came out, I'm sure. You were on the documentary as well, Nikki. So
Yes.
what do you feel when you look back now and first and foremost, I want you to tell the people, like, what do you feel when it comes to your sister-in-law, pretty much?
When it comes to Liza, I feel that she has gotten away with the perfect murder.
Wow.
That's just how I feel, and that's what I've been feeling for 20 years. And that is why for 20 years I repeatedly had asked her, Liza, if you didn't do anything, just take a lie detector test. That's it. And then it's be all over with. This could have been solved 19 years ago, but she doesn't want to do the test. She doesn't want to do the test. And because of that reason, it makes me more and more and more, although there's many clues and there are many signs that lean towards it, by her refusing just makes it more uncomfortable. It makes it more uncomfortable. And to this day, she still doesn't want to do it, and I'm offering to pay it. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm offering to pay it. Whatever needs to be done, I'll pay for everything. I just want you to clear this. This could have been done 19 years ago, 20 years ago, but again, she doesn't want to. And what I feel is that because of the abuse and the having to care for him like a wife does, because that's what we do, right? She couldn't take it no more. Right. She couldn't deal with it more. She had fallen in love with my brother's brother, so it was a lot of things. Yeah, she was in love with my brother's brother, and they had a affair for a year and a half before my brother passed away, and the affair continued, during this time my brother died, and a year after he died, so that's not a good look either. I mean, all people, things just don't match up. Um,
Wow. So, guys, when I interviewed Miss Nikki, listen, she told me this on my Instagram interview, but I'm sure a lot of you guys didn't get to watch that, nor did I get to promote that on my YouTube. So this is why we're bringing it up to YouTube now. But this is exclusive, y'all. We never heard this throughout the years about Pun's wife cheating on him with his own brother. You said it was a half brother, correct?
it's yeah, they have the same father, different mother. And the thing is that during the time since my brother passed away, for example, the interviews that she does, they all been in her favor. They've all been the questions that she wants to answer. You know, like prior to an interview, you know, you're asked often, you know, is there anything that you don't want me to talk about, you know, or mention? And she has that power to say, you know, don't ask me this, don't ask me that. So all her interviews has always been in favor of the topic she wants to talk about, but it's never touched. No one has ever asked her, were you having an affair? You know, were you this? Were you that? No, everything has been, you know, you know, what did you go through? What were you feeling? So it's like, you know, the feel sorry for, you know, so, you know, just for example, the first interview that was done, the documentary that you were showing clips for, that interview there, if you notice, I'm on it for maybe two showings for like half a second. And the reason is because I didn't talk bad about my brother. So the only thing, so she had it edited. So she, you know, she kept what she wanted to keep on it because she had control over that documentary. So she pretty much took me all out because I didn't say anything that was going to incriminate my brother. The only thing she kept was the eating rocks, you know, and everything else that was said was just thrown out the door.
So she away. You're saying she cut off some of your interview?
Yes.
The documentary.
So and all yeah, to all of us, she just kept the stuff that she only kept the stuff that matched what she was trying to say, but she removed what everybody was saying that was positive. She only kept the negative, you know. And I you know, I peeped that for a long time ago, but I was much younger then. We didn't have the platforms that we have now, like all these YouTube and Instagram and all these things, you know. So now that, you know, time and technology has improved, and I myself in the medical field, and I'm myself is learning about forensics and things like that, is I feel like now's the time, you know, to finally pursue things and try to get my voice out there to get support, and maybe everyone can help me to have her take this lie detector test, because this could be all over with, but she doesn't want to take it. She doesn't want to take it.
Spoken to her in the past about this lie detector test and how you feel towards her regarding your brother's death?
Like I said, for the 20 years, I've been asking her off and on.
Guys.
So it's not, so it's not like out of 20 years, I came out of the blue and said, you know what, I want you to take. No, I've been asking her from the get-go. The day that my brother passed away, I told her, I said, you killed my brother. I'm going to fuck you up. That was the first thing I said to her. I said, you killed my brother. And that was the start of it all. And then I said, if you didn't kill my brother, take a lie detector test. She doesn't want to take it. And I asked her over and over and over again. She will not take it. And that makes me more uncomfortable, because I know if someone's accusing me of something, I'm going to be like, listen, if it's going to make you feel better, let me just take this. But she won't. She won't. And then on top of that, I mentioned before, my brother always says, when I die, I want to be buried with my dad. I want to be buried with my father. And then she's going to rush and cremate him. Why would you cremate him if he said he wants to be buried? Why would you do that?
She rushed and went against his wishes after his death.
Exactly. And by doing that, he was unable to get a full and complete autopsy, because a full and complete autopsy, and it's, now mind you, he's huge, can take anywhere from weeks to months to do. So they did a quick one for the 24 hours, you know, just to write down, and they pretty much write down what they say. Oh, a heart attack. Okay. So it worked in her favor. And so now he's only down to ashes. Okay. There's no evidence. Everything's burned.
Autopsy. Yeah. You didn't have the extensive one.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and I just feel like it was the perfect thing. She just got away with the perfect thing, and it just kills me. And if she doesn't want to be, yeah, like my mother said, the perfect murder. If she says that she didn't do anything, then prove it. Take a test. But you don't
So
want to prove it.
not just you feeling this way. This is also your family, your mom.
Yeah. And
your
the thing is that everyone was kind of intimidated by her. You know what I mean? Because they know her capabilities. Because we know her outside of what you guys see. We know her, from behind closed doors. You guys know her just from the videos that she puts to make herself look good. She shows you just those things that's going to make her look great.
Damn,
So we know.
yeah, now hold up. Should I be careful? Like, is she a shooter? No, man. But listen.
Well, I mean, she sat out of Fat Joe's house waiting for him with a gun in the car with his but my brother's other sister. I mean, yes, she is capable.
Oh, I forgot you told me. You did tell me that.
Yeah.
So this is allegedly according to Big Pun's sister. Liza once in the past sat in front of Fat Joe's house with a gun, waiting for him to get home, allegedly, to I guess take him out.
Yeah, because this is the time that she was fighting to get money from him, and she was getting more money, because I'm gonna say that again. He did pay her off before, but she misused the money, she burnt everything, and then got greedy and wanted more money. So that's what that was. And she was pissed because he's not giving her anything. So she was gonna take him out. But he never came home. I mean, I'm glad he didn't, because he would have been dead right now.
Wow, that's serious in itself. So when you say this, it depicts a picture, and it has people, leads people to think and believe that she may be capable of these sorts of things.
Yeah.
So, when you point out the fact that she neglected Pun, and she might have had some kind of involvement with his death.
Yeah, and although what happened with Joe, with her sitting outside in the car, has nothing to do with what I feel about my brother, I'm willing to pay for a test for that too, to prove that she told me that. I'll prove that she told me that, and I'll prove that she told me that. I'll pay for that test too. I'll pay a test for everything that I said. That's what I'm saying. I'll pay for the test to clear everything. That's how confident I am, and everything is factual. Everything comes out of her mouth. And I mentioned before, I don't think she thinks before she talks, because she incriminates her own self. I don't know. I don't know if she enjoys putting the hints in your head. I don't know. But definitely, she's definitely capable. She put a gun to my brother's head 3 different occasions while he was sleeping.
He used to deal with.
Wow, while he was sleeping.
While he was sleeping, yes. Not what would make more sense is if it was a domestic dispute situation, and she was gonna go. She tried to save herself. That would have made more sense. But this is this man sleeping, and you're trying to take his life while he's sleeping. So nothing was happening. She has everything against her, and it's always been this way. It's just that now I'm saying to myself, I need help. I need people to get on board and really evaluate everything that I'm evaluating, and help me to convince her to take a test. But it's still not helping. You still don't want to take it.
Well, you mentioned Fat Joe giving money. I wanted to get into that a little bit, because she claims that she was in a shelter after Big Pun died, which to a lot of people, a lot of the fans, it seemed really heartbreaking. Here goes Big Pun's wife with his kids, and she's in a shelter, right?
Of course.
So, she's.
Go ahead.
She came out of an interview where she was saying after the shelter, I believe it was, she went back to her mom's crib where she lived for 20 years, and my thing is, so wasn't this crib available to you before the shelter? And what did you do with the money? Because according to Fat Joe, he gave her $1 million. I don't know how true that might be, but
I heard she was in a club.
Yeah, she was. What happened was she was in the club popping bottles and bringing my brother's ashes on top of the stage and popping bottles around my brother's ashes. And she misused the money and got greedy and wanted more money. And that's when Joe was like, I gave you money. So she wanted more. That was the problem. And then when it came to the shelter, as I mentioned before, it would she played the game is, how can I look really poor and like I'm really suffering? I can't go to my mom's house. My mother been in the same house since I was a child, and she has plenty of space. But you know what? Rather than go to my mom, I'm gonna go to the shelter because it's gonna show everybody that I'm really, really doing really, really bad. So it was just for show. It was just for show, and also to make her case with Fat Joe, look more convincing. Like, oh man, Fat Joe got her in a shelter, man. What kind of man is he? It's all a game, all orchestrated. It was all orchestrated because at the end of the day, she had plenty of places to go, and the number one place was her mom.
well, this is a clip of Fat Joe pretty much stating, making a comment about Liza and stating what transpired after PUN's death. So let's take a quick listen. It's a couple of seconds, maybe a minute.
Now, what is your relationship with his family like now that how long has it been? Like 10 years?
15.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
Yeah.
I seen his son the other day. His son is rapping. Me and his wife don't really get along like that. And I think it's from being misinformed or whatever you want to call it. So, when he passed away, I said it before in interviews, if we got to break it down, when he passed away, she told me she didn't really have no money like that.
Yeah.
So we did an album. We gave her like, 700,000 directly to her, not Fat Joe. We did a publishing deal, another 300,000. So she had like $1 million.
Yeah.
She spent it. And after that, she was like, yo, Fat Joe ain't taking care of me.
Wow.
And he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth.
So here's Fat Joe making a claim, an allegation, and you're confirming it. He says he gave her over $1 million. Then we all saw the court case where Liza took Fat Joe to court for the publishing deal. She ended up with almost half of the deal. She sold. She got paid for the documentary she made on PUN. She got royalties and stuff like that here and there. She even had like a clothing line I think she was doing for PUN, and she was selling clothes with PUN on it. So she's gotten money off of PUN. I'm supposing the publishing deal is still going on, so she's still getting residual income.
Now, mind you, before my brother passed away, she was stashing money at her mom's house. So she had a big stash at her mom's. So she was prepping it up. She was planning whatever it was that she was trying to plan. But everything was premeditated. Her mother was stashing the money and holding that money for her. So she had money. She had money.
She claims Big Pun didn't leave no life insurance policy, no trust fund for these kids, nothing. But she's also the parent. Whereas, what did you leave or what did you gather for the kids? It goes both ways. Yeah, Pun should have been a little bit more, thoughtful or responsible when it came to that. But then you're also the parent, and you're alive. Still had you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all these questions like, what did you do after PUN? And I heard her on an interview saying she was going to go back to school and stuff like that. I'm not even sure if she followed through with that. I didn't see anything else on it.
No.
Yeah, so it's like it just leaves.
And the thing is that my brother never got a will, nothing like that. But there hasn't been any confirmation whether she had one on him. For sure, for sure, he didn't have none on himself for them. But
she was saying.
So it's not clear whether she had one on him.
Right. Wow. I mean, has she worked after that? I think she said she did bartending, but one would think you got $1 million in advance. You're still, most likely you're getting the publishing from the publishing agreement that you want in the case. You know, are like one just questions. Come on, this is Pun's legacy. The fans got questions. They got suspicions, concerns, and people are wondering what's going on with his legacy. What's being done with the money? Or it sounds a little bit much, but there's a lot of people that really wholeheartedly followed and supported Pun, and they're left with these questions and concerns. And it's just like, okay, what have we know that you say you were battered. We know that Pun didn't leave a will. What have you done after that besides run this campaign that you were battered, and praise Pun at the same time, or use his name, for monetary gain? Because
yeah, hold on, Booby wanted to say something.
All right, go ahead.
She praises him and then tears him down at the same time. So I don't even know like what's this the whole thing about. She either hates him or love him. Like you can't be on both sides. I don't get it. Maybe I'm different.
There's a lot of people that would feel that way and would agree with you on that. And then there's people that would disagree. So, it all depends on how you're looking at things. Ms. Hadi, what would you have anything to say on this particular topic?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. So you say that you don't even know where Pun's half brother, the one that you're alleging had this infidelity with, this cheating going on with Liza.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at.
Vincent, which is his brother, and her cousin Scorpio, the one that was looking up ways to kill someone without it showing. They also call him Ransom and or Ray. They've been MIA for 20 years. Like you can't. They MIA.
Okay, so I wanted to get into that. It's actually good as you brought it up. So Booby actually confirmed on an interview we had. For those of you who didn't watch, Booby confirms that he witnessed or he heard Liza's cousin Scorpio researching or searching on a computer on ways to kill someone and not.
No, that's what Liza was telling me. Like Liza was telling me that, but he was the only nice one with computers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wait, you saying Liza told you that she was researching?
Yeah. Like it was him and Liza. Like she would just come, oh, you know how you could kill somebody and won't show up on their autopsy, like just out of the blue. And I was like, okay, that's kind of dope. I'm young, like you don't gotta shoot somebody is like another way to get around it. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. But I never thought about nothing. And then when he passed and she told me what she told me, like all the puzzles, everything just started connecting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Wow. So wow, this is deep. This is deep. And so you said you also claimed that she told you like 2 weeks prior to Pun passing that.
Yeah, she guaranteed me that he was gonna die. I don't know if I should say allegedly because this is what she told me. Allegedly, I can't even. It don't even make sense if I say allegedly, but I'm just gonna say it because this is what she told me. And I told the squad, I was telling everybody, and everybody was telling me to chill because of the kids. I was like, yo, she guaranteed it. She guaranteed it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was in a fucked up position because I didn't want to tell Pun because he would have fucked her up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn. But I didn't believe that it was going to really happen either. So I was like in a no-win situation.
Wow. So
she just came out of nowhere and told me, she was like, you know what, it's gonna be whack that he don't die in the streets. He's gonna just be die. He gonna die because of eating food and hamburgers and shit. And I'm like, damn, like I've been tried to go running with him and to help him lose weight, but you know what I'm saying? It never worked. You can even ask her. Like I was ready to run around, run with him, walk with him, whatever, and it was nothing.
Wow. So Booby, now that we have you here on the panel, what do you think transpired the day of Pun's death? What exactly do you think happened?
All right, I wasn't there, so I don't even I don't know because I wasn't there. But all I could do is that she told me what she told me, and that's that. But I wasn't there because I just had my second daughter in November, so it was like I had to she had to go to the hospital that day, so I didn't even get to go. But I went there earlier in the week, and that was that. But it just sounds fishy to me because the kids, all of a sudden, she sends the kids away. The kids is always there on tour or studio, so that was weird. Just me breaking everything down now. Like all of a sudden, she felt something was gonna happen, and she told them to go with somebody to take the kids to her brother. That don't even sound right. Does it? Y'all like everything she done said? Like all of a sudden, take the kids. Something don't feel right.
Yeah, I mean, certain things that was said in that documentary left people, you know, thinking like, okay, so why didn't this happen? Why didn't you know? Why wasn't enough done? Um, People feel like you know more could have been done to help.
She let him die. She let him die.
You
That's
feel like if she could have gave him CPR and saved his life.
yes.
Okay.
Everybody knew that he was big, so the first thing is like he was unhealthy. But he went to the doctor and stuff, and actually his heart was good for his size and everything. But the doctor did say that he had to lose weight.
But his labs and everything actually came out good. It wasn't bad. You know, we were expecting it to be because of his size, but you know, there's a saying that just because someone's big doesn't mean that they're unhealthy.
His heart was good, the lungs, everything. So I don't know. Like nobody really seen him sick like that anyway. So it was just crazy.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
just
even Joe said he got pretty much sick overnight. Like it was just from one day to the next, or he was complaining
Yeah.
about.
Before that, he was swimming in a pool. He was having a good time. I just don't understand.
So you
But I
don't
seen
feel
that he had a show with J-Lo the night or two before, and he canceled because he wasn't feeling well. Is there any truth to that?
Well, Liza canceled it for him.
Oh wow.
Yep. Liza called and canceled it.
Wow. Wow.
Again, Liza, just take a test. You didn't do anything, take a test. That's simple.
Taz just says he lost 100 pounds before he died, so she don't think his weight had much to do with it.
How long before when he lost that 100 pounds from being at the camp down south to
Yeah, Duke
when,
University.
yeah, so when he lost all that weight up until the time that he died, like how much time was in between? Did he have a chance to gain that weight back, or he died with that 100 pounds lost?
No, he gained the weight back. Before he died.
because people were sneaking him food and stuff. People were sending him stuff.
Right. Well, he had a food addiction. It's safe to say you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure I was big at one time in my lifetime, so I get it, that part of it.
All of us were.
Right. You know what I mean? And so I just kind of wanted to get that out the way, like saying that, yeah, we know he said it in his song that he lost 100 pounds. We get that. You know what I mean? But, it's easy. It's hard as hell to get it off, but it's so easy to put it on.
Me, I was married, right? And with my husband, I always go to the doctor. You need to get a exam. When you care about your spouse, you take care of them. You make sure, like, you need to go to the doctor. You need to get a checkup. You need to do this. Honey, I don't think you should eat that because, but it's like she did everything that's going to just worsen him. Everything that could just make him even worse. She was for it. Because at the end of the day, the outcome, I believe that's what she wanted. That's what she wanted. Instead of coming out of the relationship the right way, which is by, getting a divorce, get separated, go your both different ways. It was more like, let me just get rid of him, period.
She left a couple of times. She came back.
He was fine without her, which she left.
So you guys, in the comments, on my Instagram, I posted change.org website where Liza has actually set up a petition. I'm sorry, not Liza. Nikki set up a petition for Liza to take the lie detector test. So it says we want Liza Rios to get the lie detector test for Big Pun's death. Um, Several people have signed the petition already. People have donated. So if you guys want to help, if you're a fan, if you know what I'm saying, a big supporter, Pun is one of your childhood faves, or you just simply want this division to end and you want the family to, reunite and try to work on the relationship, and just bring answers, bring closure. You can definitely go ahead and try to support this and sign the petition or donate. I At this point, I would hate to think that Liza killed Pun. I would it would be hurtful to even, but
All right, let
like,
me ask you something. It will be hurtful, right? But before I even said what she guaranteed to me, like you start to think and start be putting like little pieces together. Like, wait, this don't make sense, right? Like it had to happen, yo. Because I'm pretty sure people who's been following the story since I said that she told me what she told me, they like, damn, shit don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Right or wrong?
right, and well, that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people saying. Like they're like, yo, listen, this don't, it's not adding up, and now that you guys are bringing these other details forward and they're surfacing, it's like, wait a minute, okay, now these are new pieces to the puzzle that we never had. So, like the infidelity, you said it was going on while Big Pun was Big Pun and after he died,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly. Um, so just that alone is just like, wow, we didn't know that was going on. Was that part of the abuse? Was that, part of the
That was a lot of the arguments. Yes, a
it,
lot of the arguments was because of that.
wow, okay. Because I feel
Pun
like
told me that, but I didn't believe him. You know what I'm saying? Because Pun jokes around a lot. You know what I'm saying?
right. I, I feel like nothing justifies abuse, but what I'm saying is that could have been the triggering points. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But for certain things to transpire and get out of hand. So now that we know that piece of information, which is a huge piece of information, we didn't know Pun, and it makes sense now probably why he said in his music, niggas trying to fuck my wife, niggas trying to take my life. You know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah.
depicts a bigger picture now. It's like, oh shit, well, what was he talking about? His brother, his half brother trying to fuck his wife?
Yeah. That's exactly
Wow.
what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You can ask anybody from Cuban to Fat Joe. They know what I said, and what she told me, I was telling them. You know what I'm saying? And I was adamant about it, but they was telling me to chill.
Yeah.
Telling me to chill. I'm not gonna even front. Last Sunday when I got that off my chest, I felt good. So it was cool. Cause you know what
we've been holding it in so long.
You know what it is? Like you think about Pun and they think that just because he was big, like he just died. Like, come on. Him and Cuban used to burn each other because that was the worst feeling in the world, yo. And he never wanted to get cremated.
People automatically think like, oh, okay, he was big. It must have been that. No.
And I don't know what's the matter with Cuban. Like he's all of a sudden Team Liza, so I don't know. Because you gotta get right. Pun was your man. You know what I'm saying? Your alliance is to Pun, but it seemed like it's to Liza. Like she done mad shiesty things, you know what I'm saying? Like putting out, trying to defame his name and stuff, and he's still with her.
Just like a loyalty to her.
Loyalty for what? Like, is he fucking her? Like, I don't know.
Oh shit. Oh,
no, that's how it makes in the scene. I'm gonna just keep it 100.
But that was a rumor before. That was a rumor.
Come on, like be for real. Look at how, like, if that's your sister, why you letting her put tapes out to degrade his name and stuff?
But you love him so much.
But you love him, and you making videos about everything else, but you didn't check her.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just like, there's been, I feel like there's been more negative things said about Pun than good, and it's like when do we?
And that's why
she used it to her convenience. She was like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk bad because it's gonna help me with this. But now I'm talk nice about him because it'll help me with this. She's like an opportunist, whatever's gonna benefit her, whatever's gonna bring some money in her pocket, and come on.
Want to talk shit but sell big pun gear? Like, come on, pay. You gotta be on one side, yo. To me, it's like they playing both sides.
And real quick, I don't want someone to think that we ignored their comment. Someone had asked, "Have we seen the kids?"
Right.
No, we haven't had a relationship with the kids. My mother's here; she's very ill. My mother has congestive heart failure, and we almost lost her the other day. She collapsed in the bathroom, and she hasn't seen them in 20 years.
God bless.
My grandmother's over 80. She hasn't seen them in 20 years. My nieces I haven't seen in about 20 years. I did see baby Chris about 3 times, which was like within the past 10 years. But the girls, I haven't seen them because, again, they were brainwashed. They were raised by their mother. The mother told them, listen, your aunt thinks that I could your father. I don't want you talking to your aunt. And then it just continued that way because Liza will always check in with me here and there to find out if I still think that she killed my brother. Like, she wanted to see where my mind was at. And I'd be like, yeah, Liza, the only way that I would think anything different is if you just get a lie detector test. But then again, she won't do it. So, it kept the kids away. And, unfortunately, my mother probably never going to get to see them again with the way her health is going.
Wow, this is so sad, yo.
And let me clarify too, because I noticed in the comments from the other video that we did, some people keep addressing them as kids. Remember, they're not kids anymore. They're close to 30 years old. So all 3 of them, baby Chris is like 27, Vanessa's around 29, Amanda's like 30, 31. So they're not kids anymore. They're grown adults. Amanda's a mother herself. So just in case everyone thinks that they're still little kids, they're grown adults now.
Some people want to know if they can call in, and we're gonna try this out. I'm gonna put the call-in number on the screen.
Okay.
So, people can call in and ask you guys whatever questions they may have.
Sure.
So let's thank her because she's actually taking questions from you guys.
Sure.
In the chat.
And my mom's here too. You can ask her a question.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. That's even better because I haven't even gotten a chance to speak to you. That would be better. If any of you guys have any questions, now's the time to call into the call number 229-377-4113. And yeah, you guys can ask Nikki, Big PUNS mother, a question. I see a lot of you guys have certain questions in the comments. Sorry that I didn't get to everybody just yet. We're still running the show and we're still getting things out. But let me see if I pick one in here. They say, do you think he was a sacrifice and she was paid that 1 million to do it? I don't know. I don't think if she was paid by Joe, and she's as angry as she sounds with him, I think she would have ratted him out by now. So no, I don't think that to be the case. I think she would have ratted him out, but at this point, let me see who else. I can't hear you, Nikki. I think you're muted, just in case. You didn't realize. I'm not sure if you muted yourself.
I'm here.
Okay. Or was the million hush money? I like you, his Mrs. Because you think like me. Yeah, you think like me. Miss T. Taylor says eating disorder. You encourage them. What plans did Big Pun have for the future? What were some of his dreams?
Oh my God, my brother's plan was to be kind of like the president's, where he wanted to get a compound, like a whole, block, and all the family lives there. That's what he wanted to do. That was his plan, to have like a compound type, neighborhood with all the family.
Wow. And so it's so heartbreaking. It's so confusing, and it's like, man, people don't like. I don't want to believe that Liza had anything to do with it. Um, I don't know if I would even go as far as to say that she, put something in. 'Cause I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But when it comes to what she said out her own mouth, uh, and when it comes to what it seems like okay, but well, why wouldn't you do something like a CPR? You know what I'm saying? And that's
Because
the
he had
question.
drool. Because he had drool in his mouth. I mean, come on. I mean, you've been together 12 years. I mean, I'm sure you've done a lot more.
You call everybody but the ambulance. That's
You
crazy.
call everyone but the ambulance. You don't let nobody in to help. It's like it just don't make no sense, and it hasn't made sense in all this time. But again, now after 20 years, it's kind of one of those things like enough's enough. Okay, we need an answer. So now we're gonna have to take it rather than it be a family internal thing that was going around. We're gonna now bring it to the people to just hope that they can help convince her to get a test. That's the purpose of this. Just get
Wow.
a test. Get a test. I mean, come on.
Respect to Mama Pun for being here, even with her health issues. Yeah, man, much respect because it's not easy. And then to have to relive the moment, of your son's passing.
Yeah, of course.
I could only imagine. I could only imagine how hard it is for the, Pun's son and Pun's daughters as well. Like for everybody, is hard. It's not easy. Like I'm sure they don't want their mom being called a murderer or just having their own suspicions. I'm sure they don't want. But this is what was said. This is what you guys witnessed. This is what was put out in the document. These are just things that were in the public eye already. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So it's up to everybody to come up to with their own conclusions. These are the family members. Someone's calling in now, so let's take the first call.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I think they hung up. Um, oh no, wait, hold on, they still here. Okay. You hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
I think what you guys are doing is great. There's a lot of information. For the past 21 years that I've been gone, this is so new and shocking. This is just like a twist that nobody even knew, and it's starting to pick up traction since the Punk Plaza. And big shout out to Nikki for putting in all this work and just sharing this with the world. So definitely want to say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what was Big Pun like growing up? What I don't kind of get is a little bit of his family dynamic. I know they say he got brothers here and sisters there, but what was he like? What was like the family dynamic like? How was everything with Pun growing up?
Sure. Well, growing up, it was my brother, myself, and my mother. I was the only sibling that was raised with him. I had a sister named Pinya who was Penelope. She was raised by my grandmother. And then he had a sister from his father's side, Christine, who was, she was in his life. But then he also had Vincent and Nairi from his father's side, who was like kind of on again, off again type relationship with them. But growing.
We lost you, I think, Nikki.
Can you hear me?
All right, yeah, we hear you now.
My chin hit the mute button. I'm so sorry. I got a big chin. Okay, so what I was saying was that growing up, it was me, my brother, my mother. I was only sibling raised with him, and he was a jokester. My father wasn't around. My father's the one that was very militant with him, like, waking him up at night to do sit-ups and push-ups. Yeah, I do remember that. But my father wasn't in the picture very long. My father left when I was about 8 years old. And so it was just Chris, my brother Pun. He kind of stepped up and became like my father. He made sure that I was in the house by 7, or before it was dark. I wasn't playing with boys, and he stepped up. When my mother was at her darkest times, he made sure, just like a father, make sure, did you do your homework? Did you, um, make sure you clean up your mess, and just like a dad, the dad would. But he was the dad, and but he was good. He was good, but he was very overprotective, and he was a joker. He loved to play Scrabble. That's his favorite game. Because he used to love to read the encyclopedia, the dictionary, and the Bible. So he will come up with these big, humongous words that we've never heard of in our life, and always win the game because he was more advanced there. But he was a dope brother. He was.
We can imagine.
Wow, that's how was I wanted to ask about did Big Pun know he was this loved? Like he had so much love, like what he meant to the Latin community. Because when I hear you, right, when I hear speak, it's like I'm hearing my sister speak. So like your story, a lot of people say a lot of things, but I found your story to be sincere because I felt like it was coming from my sister.
Oh.
I feel so connected to this because I relate to it. That he know that he meant so much to the Latin community.
Yes.
Did he know he had that much love out there?
And that's the thing. That's all he wanted. And for the first time, I think he was feeling genuinely loved, more than he felt loved by his own wife. So that's why his fans were so important to him. Because I remember as a kid, he used to always, we used to like sing songs with each other and do little duets on the radio. And sometimes he'd be like, Nikki, watch, I'm gonna be famous one day. He goes, watch, people are gonna love me. People are gonna line up to see me. And he called it, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to be loved. And I think that the great thing about it is that before he passed away, he did feel that love because the fans, everybody did show it, and he felt it. He felt it. He lived for you guys.
He did, man. Just the funeral alone, that it was like a parade.
People waited online the funeral that more than once.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That looked amazing, man. And I just want to say thank you for Nikki for doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Like I said, when I hear you speak, it's like I'm hearing my sister speak. So I hope that there's some peace with the family and with the efforts that you're making now. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, man. We appreciate you.
All right.
You take care, brother. True fan right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's dope.
True fan, man. And you see a lot of the fans, any other fans, anybody else want to call in, feel free. And this is how a lot of the fans feel. They like what you're doing. They feel like if this is what's gonna help bring closure and bring unity and bring peace, amongst everybody in the family and hopefully even the friends. Then why not? If it takes this lie detector test to put it all behind, then one can only hope that Liza would be willing to take it, and put this all behind you guys, because it's not good for Pun's legacy at the end of the day for the family to be divided, especially for so long, over 2 decades. And it's been this division, and the whole time, like you said, we've only known Liza's side of the story. We've never known how the family was really feeling about Liza this whole time, and how she's managed, on when it comes to you guys telling the story.
Yeah, and people she was interviewing wasn't even down like that. Her brother Ed knew that he was beating her down, but he used to give Pun massages and stuff. So that's crazy.
Wow.
It's just, again, just Liza, just take the test already. And if you don't want to take the test, then give the fans, give the people a reason why you don't want to take the test. Because we're not even getting that. We're not even getting a reason why you don't want to take it.
First of all, if somebody accused me of that, I would want to take the test.
That's actually one of the things that I wanted to play next for you guys. So let's get into this next clip really quick when she talks about taking a lie detector test. Yeah, let me show you. So this is why you said, you've mentioned a lot of detector tests to her in the past, and she's ignored your calls. She hasn't said yes, nor she said no.
Yes.
She hasn't given you an answer. She will just ignore you. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So it seems a little odd when I hear this, when I hear you tell us this, because in this next clip that I'm about to show, she is
To
willing.
deal with, crackheads and
She's willing to take one. So let's just go here because I
From
like
Fat
speaking.
Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like speaking with fact. I don't like making nothing up. So let me just go here and show you guys this clip really quick.
Liza, she's willing to take a light test for Joe, but not for us.
Oh, that's what that's about.
What about the money before you?
All right, here we go.
Totally. It was a cycle. I saw my kids. I want my kids to learn it. My son was being abusive towards the girls and was smacking them up, and they'll learn a lot of things. I didn't want my daughters to, think that was the way that marriage was or life should, meaning that the bank would take your house and then they'll sell it as, as
So
a
you
lower
get nothing
market
for
rate.
it?
It will be nothing for it. So before that happened, what I'm saying, and the house wasn't up to par because in the middle of him, when he bought the house, he was doing renovations. In the middle of renovations, he passed on. You know what I'm saying? So now I have money to do the renovations and pay the mortgage and keep up with the house. So after a while, you know what I'm saying, before I went to foreclosure, I would lose it totally. I sold and got whatever I could get from a person who, basically buys and flip homes at the end.
So the person interviewing Elijah, this was years ago, after Pun's death, is Doggy Diamonds. So Doggy Diamonds is, he's in this industry. So he's interviewing her. He's pretty much asking her, what did you do with the money? Like you sold the house, you got money off the house, you got money from the publishing deal. She's pretty much denying that Fat Joe gave her $1 million in this interview. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
They invested, buy the home, they fix it up, flip it. You know what I'm saying? Basically a flipper. So I got, basically a minimum. I had to pay the mortgage back. It was $150,000 in the mortgage. I walked away basically with $60,000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really much that I got off of it.
So like people probably want to know, how do you live?
You got $1 million.
Right here.
Okay.
I'm living right here. After I lost the house, I'm in the BX. Actually, my mom been living for 20 years. I was first pregnant when my daughter was here.
Okay.
So she went to the shelter first, and then she ended up back in her mom's house.
Yeah.
And
But
this
she
is
got money though.
She didn't have for a show. Yeah, it was all to paint that picture, like, she's struggling and all this, but it was a plan. It was all premeditated.
And shout out to Doggy Diamonds for this interview. I reached out to Doggy Diamonds and I wanted to see if he wanted to speak on this interview he had with Liza. He kindly and respectfully declined. And I respect it. I don't want to say too much on what we said. It was a private conversation, but he respectfully declined, and he says he's just going to stay out of the situation because it's a serious matter and it's a family matter. And I agree. I just happened to come across Nikki's page, and I grew up listening to Pun. And when I seen what she was saying, and I was like, wait a minute, oh my goodness, like this is something we never heard of. So I reached out to Nikki, and here we are. Fast forward to now, but I do agree that I hope this gets resolved, hopefully behind the scenes. And, maybe later on, you or Liza could come out and say, well, look, we took care of this. Things are good. She's had nothing to do. Like she passed whatever lie detector test she needed to take.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That would have been happening.
Okay, so let's go ahead and hear what she has to say when it comes to the lie detector test.
I had the house, like I said, up the block. I moved to Yonkers for a while. Things got hard, things got rough, so I came back, moved here, make sure, start working on my shit. I definitely got to get my shit together. There's a lot. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not perfect.
So pride, ego, how do you manage going from here to being, this is not bad because some people are homeless, but how do you manage mentally from going from having to not having right now?
But that's been all my life though. You know what I'm saying? You grow up in the hood, you go through back and forth. Growing up with my mom, I moved around a lot, you know what I'm saying? Definitely to a better place. So we got to this block. With Pun, he was really never good with money. So he would just blow money, take, and
but she says this has been all her life.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to find where can I say, wow, and I'm sorry, no disrespect, Chris or Star or even Liza. I'm telling you honestly how I feel. I'm just trying to find the logic to it all, and I'm trying to find the moment where I say, wow, Liza did everything she could in her power to, better herself and better the future of these kids. Uh,
Mhm.
I have not came across that moment. She says she's been going through this type of struggle where she's been homeless at one point. Then she hops around from apartment to apartment. At what point? Because okay, you said you were battered by Pun for over 10 years. Then Pun dies. How does this cycle continue? Why is this cycle not reversed or cut off? Why are you still not? Or are you still bouncing around from place to place? Why you're not?
Exactly.
What's going on? What's prohibiting you from really making ends meet on your own? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's
Exactly.
all these questions.
I think it's karma. That's what
Well,
I think.
Yeah.
There's time
I just don't see what's stopping her. I mean, I'm sure she could be successful if she wants to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that we were homeless besides me and Pun before you was here. We had money before the rap shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, so we had money before, you know what I'm saying? So, we would lose apartments. There was times we left the apartment where everything, and I don't know what the fuck he did with the landlord. Like, we gotta leave. He just left everything behind, pool table, everything, just grabbed bags of kids and just bounced.
so they had money before the hip hop shit. They had a
For the lawsuit. Mhm.
they had a lawsuit because Pun hurt his leg, as when he was younger, his foot or whatever, and they had a lawsuit. So
I think he broke his ankle.
been mismanaged that money. She was moving around with the kids, like as she just said, they were packing up the bags. They'll get into a beef with the landlord. Boom! Now they're moving, leaving everything behind. This is not safe for these kids. This is not healthy for these kids. These kids are not stable. They weren't established, in one spot. Like, when does it, to what point is enough, at least when it comes to the kids? And, I just want to know, like, I would love to hear it from her and so that we can understand her a little better. We're just hearing, like you said, what's going on in these interviews, but they're asking her whatever she wants them to ask her. Or whatever, was pertaining to the interview at that time. Now there's other things coming afloat.
How
So,
come he was never around? I don't care. I don't get it.
Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
Let's continue really quick. I'm almost up to that part.
I'm saying so, and start up all over again. So for me, it's not something like, it's a situation, I got to deal with it. I'm not crying about it, really. You get stressed here and there a little, but at the end of the day, I'm a strong person. I'm saying I take it as it is. I'm saying I got on top of my that's not the case. I'm saying, and I wanted people to know because I owe the truth to Punch fans. A lot of fans come up to me and ask me, what's going on, and I got to be honest, and it is what
She said it herself. But she owes the truth to the fans because a lot of the fans keep asking her what's going on. Like, what's going on with the money? Why are you in a shelter? You're saying Fat Joe don't take care of you. Why? What's going on? What's the beef? What's the division about? You know what I'm saying? So they ask years throughout the years. Let's continue really quickly. Somebody says she's the only woman I know that talks so bad about a man. Man, rest in peace, Pun. Your name will always live, Pun.
That's weird, isn't it? She's always talking down on them, coming out with videos and stuff. Like, how you like? I don't get it.
Apparently, the fans don't get it either because they're talking today, and they actually have a chance to speak how they feel as well. And listen, they're agreeing with you guys on a lot of things. So this is all what the fans are saying. This is what you guys are saying. I'm sorry, Liza, if you're mad at me and you blocked me for, hosting this interview. But these are things that you have said. And these are things that your in-laws are claiming, allegedly. And these are things that the fans want to know,
Exactly.
Let's continue really quick.
So what's some of the things that like you have to do personally to maintain?
Well, I've been blessed because every time, when I've been blessed. If money just comes to me, I've done certain deals. I had a documentary that I did back on the Big Pun Live. They're still not a player. Got some money from that. Then, just certain deals. I had a clothing line a few years ago. I'm saying for Pun, for 3 years. So that brought income. And just income that, I've bartended, I've done certain things, but I make my ends meet. I do what I gotta do.
So, a lot of people looking at this right now might say, well, she's looking for pity, she's looking for sorrow.
Definitely not.
She need to do something to maintain because Pun is not here. What do you want to say to those people?
Well, see, he said it.
Yeah.
He said it, and that's how a lot of the fans have been feeling throughout the years. What is it that you have done? Because she claims, well, she got money from Joe, or she got money from the documentary, she got money from, but it's like people want to know, what is it that you did on your own, or
Exactly.
This is the fans, y'all. Let's continue.
So yeah, I do what I gotta do. Like in September, I should be working for the Board of Ed. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm going back to school because I was a dropout, never went to school. I did the whole wife thing. So I'm definitely paying consequences of that. I've had to grow, throughout these years. I'm going back to school. Therefore, want to go for psychiatry, but so that's gonna be good with that. But my whole point is, like, I'm not on this asking for anybody for anything because I never did anyway. You know what I'm saying? I manage, I do what I gotta do. And
you saying she never followed up with the school?
No.
Nikki?
Nope.
Wow.
Joe was gonna get her a business, whatever she wanted, a beauty salon or whatever, to get her started. You know what I'm saying? And I guess she didn't want it. She didn't have to pay nothing for a year, get on your feet, and then you start making, and she probably said no.
Me myself, I'm just a regular person who's working a regular job, and I reached out to her several occasions, like, does the kids need anything? And, do you want to get them some shoes for school? And her answer will always be, and this is someone that's struggling, right? My kids don't need shit. My kids don't, there's nothing my kids don't have that they don't want. So it's like, okay. And then I'll tell her, Liza, but you're over here in the video saying that you're struggling, this and that, which one are you? So, she'll hang up on me or whatever it is, that she don't have to answer my question. But, I looked at it like, okay, I thought you're struggling. I'm trying to help, but she'll just knock you down.
Right. Joe was willing to help her. Joe was willing to help Cuban, take him to Germany to get his face fixed because he didn't do it, and they both declined. I guess they just wanted, the pity. You know what I'm saying? The 50 Cent shit. Yeah, get shot 9 times and go platinum and shit, but it didn't work.
The thing with Liza is, like, it's like one of those things where she feels like maybe she's entitled and is owed to her. I don't really need to work. I don't need to because my husband was this person, and you're going to continue taking care of me, and in reality, it's not. There was no promise that my brother would have lasted all this time. You can't think that way. You need to do for yourself. You need to get yourself together for yourself and for your kids.
Right. As everyone should,
Yeah.
As everyone should. And that's
yeah.
Let me play the rest of this video, and then
I'll get on top regardless. You know what I'm saying? My whole point of it just coming out is telling you the story is that, Pun, who's sitting right here, Pun put that thing on, you know what I'm saying? Pun put Joe on, you know what I'm saying? And, a lot of people think that I'm being taken care of, and I don't want him to take care of me. I don't want nobody to take care of me. That's one thing I hate. Oh, Joe not taking care of you, Joe. No, I don't want that nigga to take care of me. I just want whatever's due to Pun, whether it's $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Just show me the truth. You tell them people that I got millions of dollars, and where's the people telling that? You know what I'm saying? I could prove.
So, and here she's pretty much saying, like, Joe's lying. He didn't give her $1 million. He pretty much gave her like a couple of $1,000. And she's pretty much saying, like, show me the truth. You know what I'm saying? Show me that you gave me $1 million.
Yeah.
So you ain't never got $1 million. I can take a lie detector test, and we can do this all over again, and we get a lie detector test, and I'm nothing. I'm telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
See, so she'll take it. You see, it's gonna benefit her. She'll take it. So why don't you take it to prove that you didn't have nothing to do with my brother's death?
There
right.
Is.
But she said she'll take it but Joe gave her money though.
Yeah, Joe gave her money. She's lying.
She lied.
She says he gave her like $20,000 up front, and she then she sold Remy and I think Tony Sunshine from her label. She released them to Joe, and he gave her like $70,000 or $90,000 for Remy or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But even then, you got money from selling to artists. You got money from the documentary. You got money from the publishing. You got money from royalties. You got money from selling the house. Uh, and allegedly, you got an upfront advance that Joe gave you as well. Allegedly, like I said, because I wasn't there, but this is what's being.
Yeah.
It's just I don't get it. She's willing. You guys heard? She's willing to take a lot of detector tests for Fat Joe to prove that Fat Joe did not pay her this money. You know what I'm saying? She's willing to go there and say, "Well, listen, let me take a lot of detector tests and show you that everything I've said about Fat Joe and the amounts and all that stuff is true."
Yeah.
So, you know, fast forward to today because that was years ago. This interview where she's on with the red, but
Yeah. Mind you, I had already been asking her for a lie detector test for my brother before this video.
Wow.
Remember, I've been asking her on and off for 20 years.
Wow.
Hoping she changed her mind. I said, let me ask her again, hoping, but she'll just avoid it.
So, you know, at first I was like, yo, if it was me, part of me would have probably been like, yo, I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. But another part of me would have been like, yo, this is my in-laws. This is my kid's family. Like, I don't want no bad blood. You know, I don't want no bad blood I don't want no misconceptions, nothing in that nature with the fans, the family, the friends, nobody. So, you know, and I see this video and I'm like, wait a minute, but you were willing to take one for Joe. This is a more dire situation, a more serious need to take a lie detector test in my eyes. So if you're willing to take one for Joe, you should be willing to take one for Nikki.
And I was asking her this before this video.
Wow. And your mom and your sisters pretty much feel the same way you do, correct?
My mom, yes, was the same way. My sisters more like she don't want to be in it. She doesn't be part of it. She just,
she don't want no smoke.
Yeah, she don't want no smoke. Yeah. I'm okay with the smoke. That's a different
Listen, I when it comes to my loved ones, I'm with all the smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Me
Like
too.
I'm with all the smoke.
And the thing is that it's not even my brother. Anybody I love and I'm passionate about, I fight for them because I would hope, God forbid, something ever happened to me, that somebody would fight for me.
Right. Someone wants to know if Booby, Miss T. Taylor says, Booby, have you spoke with the DA?
No.
No. Okay. Okay.
Like I would ask my cousin if there was anything that we could do, like your lawyer, whatever. But I don't think with him being cremated or whatever, is anything that.
Yeah, and that's when I come in because I kind of lean towards the field that I'm in school for. I lean towards it, a lot of it because of my brother's situation. I changed, what I was going to school for to get into what I'm in now, in hopes that maybe I can find an kind of play detective, I'm pretty sure they say something.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't take everything.
Yeah, but the only thing that I'm concerned about that I just learned of as of yesterday, and it was brought to my attention again today, which I don't know this, but now I'm concerned. Someone reached out to me yesterday to tell me that Liza has sold my brother's ashes. This is new to me.
Hold on a second. Hold on, because you're getting a little feedback in the background, Nikki.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you better.
Okay. I said, now something new just came about as of yesterday and today. Someone reached out to me to tell me that Liza sold my brother's ashes. This is totally new to me. So if this is true, why would she have sold it?
Wow.
Yes, So yesterday someone came and then they reached out to me one more time today and to tell me that. And I'm like, wait a minute, are you serious? Because that I didn't know. So
wow.
if this is true, then why would you sell it? What are you trying to get rid of?
This is sad. But haven't you asked her for some, not all, but some ashes?
Yes, just recently, just recently, before I had the interview with you, I had just reached out to her on Facebook, and said, Liza, you know, is it possible that I can get some, you know, to make a little earn for myself and my mother, you know, because we've never even seen it. We've never even seen the urn.
Wow.
I seen it on the video, like for example, now that you're showing it, but I've never seen it in person. And but yet she's taking it to the club and taking it to other places for display. But she doesn't say nothing. She'll respond to whatever she wants to respond to, and if it's something that you're asking that she doesn't like, she just won't respond it. So she picks and chooses, you know, what favors her and what doesn't.
Not she takes the urn to the club, like she's really taking this urn to the club and dancing and celebrating at the club with the urn there?
Yeah, but this is not recently. This is you know, like around 2002, you know, before, right, soon after my brother passed away.
Wow.
You know, when Joe first gave her money that she just says that she never got, when Joe first gave her money.
Wow. This is all shocking. This is also, she's at the clubs partying with the money that Joe gives her after PUNS.
And has the urn on the stage.
This is a lot to take in.
And my mother never even seen it. My mother never even seen it. I never seen it.
You never seen the urn? PUNS mother. Can we hear that from your mom? Cause I just can't fathom how his own mom.
Oh, let me go to her room. She got restless and went upstairs.
No worries. Listen, if she's resting, it's okay. I don't want to disturb her out of rest. I know she hasn't been feeling well.
But you know, that's sad. I was like, wow, like, you know, I never seen it. These people are partying. To me, it's like you're celebrating that he's gone.
Wow. It looks like that. It looks like that. It looks like, you know, you could be just using his whole legacy for whatever it is, whatever gain or whatever. I don't know. Allegedly, and I don't want to, but it looks like a whole lot of things when you put all these details into put them together. You know, everything you've been telling us so far today, and things that we didn't even know happened. When you put all this together, it's like, damn, like, wait a minute. It really paints a whole new picture to this whole PUNS story.
And all she needs to do is take the test. That's all she needs to do.
Right. I mean, at this point, listen, that's, if that can help everything go away, please take this test.
Exactly. Yeah. I definitely thank, you know, everybody for their support, and you know, all I ask is that you guys, you know, help me push for her to take a test.
Right. So if you guys want to help support Nicky Rodriguez, Big Pun Sista, A.K.A. Sista Pun, with this movement on, you know, helping her sign the petition and, you know, just pretty much support her on this movement when it comes to making LIZA RIOS take a lie detector test, and you go to that website that I showed you earlier. It's actually on my Instagram. You can go there, and it's called change.org, and you can pretty much sign the petition and stuff there. I appreciate you guys, man. I told you guys, I appreciate you guys coming forward and speaking on how you guys feel, because we knew something was going on. We just didn't know what exactly. It was like, yo, you could tell the way Liza speaks through her interviews that she's really not fucking with PUNS family like that, but we don't know if they're fucking with her and what's the reason and why is she homeless. And it was just so many unanswered questions. And so we appreciate you bringing clarity, allegedly, to certain things, and now there's even more questions to be answered. But hopefully we can get an answer, and hopefully we can get a resolution to all this debacle, and you know, all this. And this is negativity at the end of the day that, you know, I'm sure Pun does not want amongst his friends and family. Look, even Joe and Cuban is not talking. You know what I'm saying? That's bringing division between you and Cuban, and Booby and Cuban, and Liza and everybody, and the kids, and well, the children, you know, Pun's son and daughter. So it's just, I'm sure he's, you know, whatever it is that's going to fix the situation, he's proud of and he's supporting from the heaven above. So if this is going to, listen, people are saying, well, listen, this is not going to make matters weren't good to begin with. So I don't see how worse can it get from here when Nikki hasn't spoken to her nieces and nephews in over 2 decades. Her nephew maybe on 2 or 3 occasions throughout those 20 years, but in over 2 decades, that's a long time. And it's like, yo, are we going to go another decade or two without, having? So maybe this needs to be done. Who knows? I can't sit here and say I don't know how it's going to turn out. But what I'm saying is everything else that's been done in the past hasn't worked out. So you can't
And that's
repeat.
why we're here. And that's why we're here now, reaching to the public for help.
Right. Miss Juicy, I'll drop the link. I don't really. Yeah, let me see if I could get the link. I'll drop the link for the website. I'm gonna try to pull it up here for where you can sign the petition, so you guys could go ahead and sign. Let me see if I can find it and bring it up. But yeah, I thank you guys. Came and shed light on the situation. You took time out of your day. I'm sure this is something that's been heavy on your mind for years. For you to actually come forward and speak on it, knowing that is hurtful to the entire family, to the friends, to the fans. To hear that any of this could be possible, because it's just like, yo, what if this did happen? Like, but hopefully we can come to a resolution. Let's just hope that Liza didn't have anything to do, and she just froze at that moment where she was supposed to give him CPR, and she said she just couldn't do it because it was saliva. Maybe she didn't know what to say about it at that time. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the thing. She didn't, from her own words, she didn't even try. It's not. It'd be different if you try and figure, oh, this is not working. I don't know what I'm doing. She didn't even try.
Well, yeah, that's why I said this is her own saying. Yeah. This is not me. This is her saying I can't do it. It was his tongue sticking out. He has saliva. So I'm still good. I'm still giving her the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say she went into a whole shock mode, and she was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. But then again, it's like, okay, but you knew to call certain people on the phone.
Yeah, so, called everybody but the ambulance.
It just brings me back to these questions, and it's just like, yo, no matter how much I want to give, because I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and look at things and put myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if it was me in those shoes? What would I have done? And every time I try to do that and I put myself in her shoes, it's like something else arises. It's, wait a minute, but then this happened. So it's just, man, at this point, man, I'll say, if this is the only solution, take the lie detector test. It's hurtful. Yeah, it is hurtful to even have this distrust, but it's been going on for so long. How long, it can't go on for much longer. So there's got to be an end to it all. I'm sure Pun wants an end to it all. And if this is going to help, hey, man, listen, shout out to everybody that's trying to bring a resolution to this. This has been an ongoing thing for 2 decades. So I appreciate it.
And thank you for having me on. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. It's my, whatever I can do. And I even reached out to Liza. I reached out to, Star. I reached out to Chris Rivers, and in a respectful way, and I apologize for what's going on, and having to be the messenger of the bearer of bad news. I hate being a bearer of bad news, but unfortunately, but I'm trying to help the situation. So if there's anything I could do on any party, any behalf to help the situation, maybe y'all can't speak directly, so I don't mind coming in and speaking in between y'all. Like anything to solve this mystery and this a whole division that's going on.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here for. Like I'm all about positivity and unity, and let's just hope that wasn't the case, because it would really, like, it would suck. It would be horrible to find out, like, yo, she failed the lie detector test, and she really, has something to do, or she neglected him. That would be horrible news, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I already know we took up enough of your time. I would like to ask Mama one question. Is she still sleeping?
No, I didn't say she went to sleep. I said she went by her room. Hold on.
Okay. I wanted to ask her one question.
Hold on. 1 second.
All right.
Ma, they wants to ask you a question. Sure. Hi.
Hey, Mother Pun. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you.
Gail, right? Is the name?
Yeah, Gail.
Okay, it's a pleasure meeting you. And I just
Oh,
wanted
same
to
here.
know, I know we saw you in the documentary years ago and you spoke about, your relationship with Pun as a child and how
Yeah.
things took place where it hindered you and it prohibited you from being the mother that you wanted to be to him. What do you feel you could have done different or what would you do different if you had to do it all over?
Oh, I would have been a completely different mother. I wouldn't have taken the path that I took. I made major mistakes and it had cost me, desperately in the way I raised my children, which I regret very much. But in a way, it turned out pretty good, the
Right.
way the way my children turned out. But of course, I would change the things that I did. I would never have been the mother that I was. But I am a wonderful grandmother, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
I appreciate you and I appreciate that. And it takes a really strong person, a really spiritual individual that's actually in tune with their mistakes and their past and their errors to actually come forward and admit that on live, in front of the world and say, well, listen, I know that I could have done this different and I would have loved to done things this way to have been there for my son. Like that's more power to you because that's the problem we're having today with society that a lot of people don't want to take responsibility for their actions. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you have done so. You have done so time and time again. And no one's perfect. We all make mistakes. We all have family members, or us ourselves have gone through similar situations where we've made mistakes, and we look back and we're like, "Wait a minute, I wish I could have done things different." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
of course.
So you're inspiring a lot of moms out there right now that has been in similar situations and they felt like, wait, there's no way to, apologize or compensate my children. But you now speaking up and acknowledging and taking responsibility that you take your power back and you give power and speak life into these other parents and mothers that are out here going through similar things. So I commend you and appreciate you so much for that, Queen. And you've been strong. Your mom's been strong. God bless her. I hope her health gets better as well. And you guys have stood strong throughout the years, man. It's tough. I know. I can only imagine. I don't know because I haven't lost a son and daughter. God bless. But I can only
No,
imagine
yeah. Hmm.
your son before you go. You go. Like that's not. It's supposed to be the other way around. As kids bury the parents or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's nothing easy to deal with.
No, life is not always, the way you want it to be.
Right. Absolutely. Is there anything that you would like to say directly to Liza while we are online talking about this situation right now?
Um, Come out and defend yourself.
That's a good
Come
one.
out. If she has nothing to hide, then what's the problem? What's so difficult about taking a lie detector test? I mean, you take it to work in a supermarket. What's the big deal? Come on,
That
I know I know the truth, but I want to hear it from her. I just want my son to rest in peace. That's all.
absolutely.
That's all I want. Because this all, this is all I want. Okay.
I agree. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Gail.
you.
Mother Pun, I appreciate you. You have a blessed night, and I hope you feel better. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a blessed night. Take care.
Yes.
Nikki, I
Yes.
appreciate you. I appreciate your mom so much, man.
Thank
It means
you.
a lot to the fans, to the people watching. I'm sure, like, we haven't really heard your mom speak out after that documentary that Liza did
Yeah.
so this is new, this is big, it's like we finally hear from her how she feels, how you feel, how Booby feels. And listen, hopefully, like I said earlier, we'll come to a positive end goal or resolution. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Thank you.
Well, thank you once again. Thank you everybody in the building. I'm not sure if you guys have any last questions. I'm not sure if you want to answer one or two more before we go. Other than that, we're about to wrap up, y'all. Somebody says, was she ever known to do drugs? Because in that video, she looks like she was on something. Who are you talking about? Liza? I think she's talking about Liza. Was she
Yes.
ever known to do drugs?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Was she doing drugs on her own, or was it a mutual thing with her and Pun?
No, this is something after the fact, after my brother passed away.
Wow. Wow. Woo.
Yeah.
This has been really interesting.
And she could take a drug test now as well. Yeah.
Wow. Someone says, Jesus Guzman says, salute to you, Papa. As a fan, very, very thankful for the opportunity you've given the family to share light on Pun's name. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate you, brother. That's dope. But it just says her having him cremated against his wishes and selling the ashes and not calling the paramedics are all things that make her look suspect to me. It says a lot of how she felt about him, says Honey Barty.
Yeah.
She just made that comment about Liza. Somebody says, hello, Ms. Gail. My prayers for you and your family. I'm gonna read a couple of comments and we're gonna close out. Jesus says, Mama Pun, don't beat yourself up. Who recognizes in hindsight of their mistakes and has genuine remorse deserves compassion and love. Absolutely, Jesus. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
One's perfect, and it's only one mom out here. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Was she ever known to do drugs? Because in that video, she was like, well, yeah, she said, yeah, she did do drugs after Pun passed. Speaking of Liza,
yeah,
allegedly. So yeah, you tardy for the party, sis, man. But this was a really, really good show. We spoke to Big Pun's sister. We spoke to his cousin Booby. We spoke to his mom, Gail. So it was a really informative, interesting show. Shout out to you, Maria Lifestyles, and everybody else that attended. Thank you so much, Nicky Rodriguez, Booby.
Thank you as well. Thank you, everybody.
Have a blessed night, and we'll
You
talk
too.
soon. Take care. All right, y'all, man. Well, y'all heard it from Pun's sister herself. Y'all heard it from the mom. Y'all heard it from the cousin. Y'all seen the clips. I'm gonna leave it up to the public to see what you guys make out of it. And leave something in the comments. Do you think that Liza should take the test, or do you think that she shouldn't have to take the lie detector test? I'm actually probably gonna make a poll, a voting poll on that, but leave what you feel or what you think in the comments, and hopefully we find some resolution to all this. But once again, I want to thank you guys all for coming. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Don't be stingy with that subscribe button, man. It's free. It's free love, you dig? But yeah, definitely hit that subscribe, like, and share, man. And we'll talk on the next flick, you dig? Y'all be good out there. Stay safe and stay blessed. Peace. Thank you, Pamela. What up, Tazia? What up, Nana? Be yourself. Good night, boo. Elo, what's good, brother? Do you think there could be peace and love and happiness and come to a family again? I hope
It sound right,
That's
boy.
a good question. That's a good question. I'm mad I didn't get to ask before they left. But that's the goal. That's the goal. Unity. Family, you dig? What up, Nettie? Subscribe.
It sound right, boy. It sound right, boy. It sound right, boy.
It sound right, boy.
It
sound right,